Introduction. A strong intuition is one of the hallmarks of the INFJ personality type. They're sensitive to the feelings and wants of others and have a rich inner life. They have the ability to empathize with others and connect with them on a deep level because of this trait. Because of their acute sensitivity, they are great listeners and counselors. INFJs have the unique capacity to recognize connections and make connections that others overlook, which allows them to generate fresh and original concepts. They are motivated by a deep need to make a difference in the world and frequently speak out for subjects they feel strongly about. Even though they have extroverted intuition, INFJs are often introverted and need time alone to recharge. They place a high importance on genuine connections, although they might be reticent to open up about their feelings. This secretiveness on the inside adds to the mystique that makes them so difficult to fathom. INFJ's mysterious allure stems, in part, from their uncanny ability to adjust their behavior to suit any given social setting. They may be both gregarious and reticent, depending on the circumstances, and they have excellent social abilities. This adaptability might make it difficult for others to precisely predict their actions or motivations. INFJs may focus inward, but that doesn't mean they're oblivious to the outside world. They tend to have a deep sense of duty and care about the welfare of others. They have a strong desire to care for others and are prepared to devote a lot of time and energy to doing so. One of the strengths and weaknesses of being an INFJ is that they often put the needs of others ahead of their own. When it comes to romantic relationships, INFJs are loyal and passionate. They want to form genuine bonds with others who understand and accept them for who they really are. For this reason, genuine friendships and romantic partnerships are often hard to come by since they are so sought after. People who identify as INFJ tend to choose occupations that allow them to make a good difference in the world. They thrive in professions that put their empathetic, intuitive, and inventive skills to use, such as teaching, counseling, psychiatry, and the arts. Meaning and purpose are common themes in the lives of INFJs. They may ponder the meaning of life and search for the ultimate truths of the cosmos. They are intricate and mysterious, since their introverted character often leads them to investigate numerous spiritual or philosophical approaches. INFJs have a strong sense of morality that guides them throughout their life. They value and expect others to share their commitment to authenticity, honesty, and fairness in all interactions. They are unyielding in their devotion to honesty, even if it puts them at conflict with popular opinion or cultural standards. The INFJ's imaginative and observant faculties make them good observers of interpersonal relationships. They may have an exceptional knack for recognizing the feelings and thoughts that lie behind the surface of people's behavior. With this knowledge, they may help individuals in need as both leaders and empathetic confidants. INFJs may appear quiet and reserved at first glance. Yet when talking about something they care deeply about, they may become animated and animated. It's possible that their level of knowledge and ability to hold meaningful discussions will astound others around them. INFJs depend heavily on their intuition and emotional quotient while making choices. They have the capacity for rationality and pragmatism, but when it comes to making life-altering decisions, they are more likely to trust their gut. To others who value a more analytical approach, this may make them come across as mysterious. The remaining sections of this book will be focused on showing you all you need to know about the INFJ personality type. Chapter 1. INFJ Cognitive Functions. The INFJ personality has a distinct blend of cognitive functions that influence their outlook and actions. The major function of an INFJ's introverted intuition, or NI. NI is an INFJ's deepest, most intuitive, and most observant function, allowing them to make connections and recognize opportunities that others might miss. It helps individuals plan for the future, decipher intricate systems, and comprehend fundamental causes and effects. Their auxiliary function, extroverted feeling, FE, works well with their dominant NI. FE enables INFJs to connect with people and show compassion on a deep level. They have a great capacity for empathy and are always willing to lend a helping hand when others are in need. Because of their inherent good nature and their desire to make the world a better place for everyone, INFJs are often gifted with the ability to bring people together and encourage them to work together. INFJs also have the tertiary function of introverted thinking, T, which operates below the surface. As a means of inward analysis and evaluation, T is an invaluable resource for INFJs in the pursuit of critical thought. T can be used by INFJs to verify the information gleaned through NI and provide a more rational perspective to their choice-making. It aids in the formation of a solid worldview consistent with their steadfast ideals and values. An INFJ's weaker cognitive function is extroverted sensing, say. Those with low say tend to experience it in short, intense bursts of energy and enthusiasm. They may also take pleasure in walks in nature or expressing themselves creatively, but their strong NI generally keeps them grounded in their internal realm of contemplation and insight. Adopting these mental processes isn't without its difficulties for INFJs. When introverted intuition, NI, is in the forefront of a person's personality, that person may spend a great deal of time contemplating and thinking about the world. This introversion might make it hard for them to communicate their deep ideas and understandings to others because they worry about being misunderstood or lacking the vocabulary to do so. INFJs may prioritize the wants and feelings of others over their own, thanks to the dominance of extroverted feeling, Fey. They have a tendency to put the needs of others above their own because of their innate caring nature. In circumstances when they believe they have failed to satisfy everyone's expectations, this might leave them feeling emotionally exhausted and overwhelmed. The INFJ's inclination to be too critical of themselves may stem, at least in part, from their tertiary function, introverted thinking, T. They may reflect deeply on their behavior and ideas in an effort to bring them into harmony with their core beliefs. Being aware of one's strengths and weaknesses is a great asset, but it also has the potential to induce perfectionism and stress. Extroverted sensing, say, is the inferior function of the INFJ, and when it is underdeveloped, the INFJ may feel emotionally distant from the world around them. They could have trouble enjoying sensory activities on the spur of the moment and being in the present. Despite these obstacles, INFJs have the potential for self-improvement and cognitive development that may help them achieve a more harmonious and satisfying lifestyle. They may better convey their profound thoughts by actively improving on their communication abilities. They can lessen the burden of their caring nature by learning to set boundaries and put their own needs ahead of those of others. An INFJ's extroverted sensing, say, may offer a new depth of excitement and presence to their life, while cultivating their introverted thinking, T, can help them make more objective and reasoned judgments. INFJs are rare and valuable because of the complex interplay between these different aspects of their minds. Relationships, communities, and personal development all benefit from their exceptional capacity to empathize, anticipate, and think critically. The INFJ's cognitive processes are the key to unlocking their potential, overcoming obstacles, and creating a life that is authentic to who they are as a person. As INFJs mature, they may gravitate towards careers and occupations that play to their own talents and reflect their personal philosophies. A lot of people look to INFJs as confidants or counselors because of the way they are in their personal interactions. Their genuine concern for others and capacity to see things from others' points of view make them reliable and loving companions. Those in need of emotional support will find in them a sympathetic ear and wise counsel, making them valuable allies. Career-wise, INFJs are typically drawn to fields where they may have a constructive effect on the world. Their empathic demeanor and insightful intuition may lead them to a career in fields like as counseling, psychotherapy, social work, education, or the arts. INFJs may also be great leaders because of their innate capacity to motivate others and bring disparate groups together to achieve a shared objective. INFJs should focus on their own happiness and self-acceptance if they want to develop as people. They have the ability to use their critical thinking, introverted thinking to develop self-compassion and overcome their own self-doubts since they're naturally introspective. INFJs can benefit from learning to strike a better balance between their robust inner world, introverted intuition, and the exterior reality, extroverted sensing, say. An INFJ's quiet demeanor belies the fact that they may be formidable advocates for things they believe in. They have developed skills in empathy and intuition that allow them to comprehend intricate social problems and generate practical answers. They may motivate people to take action as a group and effect good change by tapping into their extroverted feeling, Faye. It's crucial for INFJs to appreciate the worth of their distinct point of view and speak their minds freely. Finding the right words to express their deepest ideas will allow them to change the world and motivate others to join them in their pursuits. Finding groups or other people who share their values and perspectives may be incredibly helpful for INFJs on their path to self-actualization. If an INFJ wants to feel more connected and powerful, they should surround themselves with individuals who respect their abilities and have similar ideals. As a whole, the INFJ personality type weaves together a rich tapestry of intuition, sympathy, and originality thanks to their superior cognitive abilities. INFJs may make a difference in the world and leave a lasting legacy if they learn to embrace and hone their natural talents in these areas. Spiritual inquiry and self-discovery may appeal to INFJs as they mature and more embrace their cognitive capabilities. They tend to look for more to life than meets the eye because of their intuitive and introspective natures. Meditation, mindfulness practices, or investigating philosophical and existential problems are all examples of methods in which this might be realized. Sometimes INFJs have to work through the conflict between their robust inner world, and the pressing, present needs. They may struggle to find a balance between their innate need for contemplation and their want for greater spontaneity and physical involvement. Finding a middle ground between these two sides of their character may be an eye-opening experience that changes who they are forever. INFJ social dynamics are also heavily influenced by the importance of extroverted feeling, in the INFJ's cognitive stack. They are peacemakers and empathetic people who may have trouble letting go of other people's feelings. It may be crucial for their mental health to learn to establish appropriate limits and identify their own feelings independently of those of others. It's possible that INFJs are also motivated by a desire to do good in the world. But the magnitude of the world's issues and the glacial pace of change may leave them feeling hopeless and helpless. In difficult times, it is especially important for INFJs to keep in mind that even the smallest acts of kindness and compassion may have a positive impact on the world. INFJs can take comfort in knowing they are not abnormal as they learn more about their thinking processes and personality type. Having meaningful relationships with other INFJs and like-minded people may be incredibly beneficial for all involved. INFJs are more likely to withdraw inside and seek refuge in isolation during times of stress or uncertainty. When this occurs, people can tap into the strength of their NI to better understand themselves and their emotions. However, they shouldn't shut themselves off entirely, as it may be really helpful to get advice and feedback from reliable people. The interplay between these functions and how they shape the INFJ's distinctive way of thinking. The INFJ's extrovert feeling, auxiliary function is just as important to their thinking as their main introverted thinking, NI. They are able to sense the feelings and wants of individuals around them because to their ability. As a result, INFJs have a great feeling of compassion and a desire to aid and comfort people in need. The INFJ tertiary function of introverted thinking, plays a role in the way the type thinks and acts. This feature provides an organized framework for deducing meaning from data. T allows INFJs to analyze and assess the quality of the NI-generated insights, honing and arranging them in a coherent framework. Extrovert sensing, is the lower-order cognitive process that fills in the picture. Which is less developed in INFJs, can nonetheless have an impact on their thinking by helping them value the here and now and their sensory experiences. Highly sensory situations can be stressful or overwhelming for INFJs, who would rather dwell in their own head and contemplate their complex thoughts and feelings. The cognitive processes of an INFJ work in concert, creating a distinctive way of looking at the world. INFJs benefit from the interaction of NI, FE, T, and SE because it allows them to pick up on subtleties, feel strongly for other people's emotions, analyze material logically, and see the big picture. Because of their way of thinking, INFJs frequently come up with creative solutions to difficult challenges that take into consideration the interests of others. The dominance of introverted intuition might make INFJs appear mysterious or evasive to others who aren't a part of their inner world. But INFJs utilize their method of thinking to connect with those who share their beliefs and understand and respect their perspective on the world in a manner that others might not. The INFJ's mentality in social situations is aimed on establishing genuine bonds with others. They have a knack for picking up on other people's feelings and thoughts, which makes them great listeners and supportive companions. When others overlook subtle hints and underlying feelings, INFJs utilize their introverted intuition to read between the lines. Thanks to their perceptiveness, they're able to lend a helping hand to others around them and encourage an atmosphere of trust and openness. The INFJ's capacity for empathy is bolstered by extrovert feeling. They care deeply about making the world a better place for everyone and have a strong moral compass as a result. INFJs are generally motivated by a desire to make a difference in the world and the lives of others. INFJs have a reputation for being kind and compassionate, but the intellectual depth provided by their introverted thinking function sets them apart. Sometimes they ponder deep questions and try to make sense of life by reflecting on it. Because of their high T, they are able to thoroughly examine data in search of coherence and comprehension before jumping to any conclusions or making any choices. The INFJ's weaker extrovert sensing trait may surface in times of high pressure or when confronted with really daunting challenges. It's possible that they'll start paying more attention to their senses, which might make them feel detached from reality. During these times, people may feel the need to distract themselves from their overwhelming thoughts by engaging in activities that stimulate their senses. INFJs strike a fine balance between intuition, empathy, logic, and a strong feeling of duty to others in their thinking. Due to their unique set of skills and motivation to make a difference in the world, they are able to successfully negotiate the tangled web of human emotions and connections. INFJs, as they mature, find meaning in making a positive difference in the lives of those they've touched through their thoughtful contributions. INFJs may face obstacles and possibilities for improvement on their path to self-awareness and development. Their cognitive processes play a crucial role in determining how they make sense of and respond to these events. INFJs may need to find a middle ground between their idealistic ideas and their realistic goals if they want to fully tap into the potential of their dominant function, introverted intuition, and I. While they have a remarkable capacity to view the broad picture and imagine what's possible, they should be careful of keeping their feet firmly planted on the ground and moving forward methodically. To keep moving forward, it might be helpful to practice patience and accept that not all of their dreams will come true right away. Because of their strong extrovert feeling, FE, auxiliary function, INFJs often worry deeply about the happiness of those around them. Even while they help people around them, they should put their own needs first. For their own mental and emotional health, it is crucial that they learn to set appropriate limits for themselves and take responsibility for their own feelings. Tertiary function INFJs may rely on to improve their analytical skills is introverted thinking, T. Better mental and moral clarity can result through critical thinking and challenging taken-for-granted beliefs. INFJs may hone their ideas and avoid problems by employing T to evaluate and confirm the information gleaned by NI. Extrovert sensing, say, is an INFJ's inferior function, and it may become more prominent during times of stress or ambiguity. They may find it beneficial to participate in grounding activities like time spent in nature, exercise, or mindfulness practices during these times. INFJs can recover equilibrium and realign their thinking with their core beliefs and principles by focusing on the here and now. Strengthening their thought process and promoting personal growth. INFJs can do so by incorporating all of their cognitive processes in a balanced and integrated manner. They are able to boldly express their views and interact with others because they are comfortable in their own skin and embrace their individuality. Furthermore, INFJs may consistently improve their thought process, broaden their awareness, and make a good influence on their own life and the lives of people they touch by acknowledging the strengths and limits of their cognitive processes. INFJs, as they develop and mature, are well suited to navigating life's difficulties with empathy, intuition, and a drive to make a positive impact. It's possible that as INFJs develop and hone their thinking skills, they'll naturally gravitate into pursuits that suit their unique way of thinking. They may be drawn to disciplines that require strategic thinking, such as psychology, philosophy, or creative endeavors where they may express their idealistic views, due to the dominance of their introverted intuition and I. Their strong extrovert feeling, auxiliary makes INFJs excellent supporters and protectors. They may find fulfillment in helping others and may thus be drawn to careers in counseling, social work, education, or the nonprofit sector. They are successful and caring leaders because of their capacity to relate to and care for people from all walks of life. Even though INFJs thrive in environments that encourage their tertiary introverted thinking, they should push themselves to develop their analytical abilities by engaging in activities that provide new, novel problems to solve. Puzzles, research, and the study of new topics are all excellent ways to expand one's knowledge and, in turn, their capacity for critical thought. The ability of INFJs to strike a healthy balance between their inner and outer lives is likely to improve as they learn to accept and even appreciate their distinctive way of thinking. They can learn to communicate their views and feelings with confidence while being loyal to their ideals in social situations. INFJs must keep in mind that their superior cognitive abilities make them unique and valued, but that no personality type is without its share of difficulties. In communities that don't completely comprehend or respect their unique perspective, they may have times of self-doubt or struggle to establish a feeling of belonging. INFJs may flourish and make valuable contributions to society when they find and connect with others who share their values and perspectives and who understand them. The INFJ's ability to connect with others and find harmony within themselves and their relationships depends on their ability to fully embrace their uniqueness while also respecting the uniqueness of others around them. Benefits and difficulties of using each function. The distinctive strengths and weaknesses of INFJs are the result of a complex web of cognitive abilities. Introverted intuition, is fundamental to their very being. They are able to see hidden meanings, relationships, and patterns in the universe because of their innate intuition. It gives them the ability to foresee positive outcomes and gives them a strong feeling of purpose and direction. However, IN's intensity might cause people to overanalyze things or become too engrossed in their thoughts, making it difficult for them to live in the moment. Their NI is complemented by their extrovert feeling, auxiliary function. INFJs have a great capacity to empathize with and provide assistance to others around them because of their high levels of empathy and sensitivity to the emotional needs of others. Their empathy for others helps them form close bonds with those around them, which benefits the quality of their surroundings and the depth of their interactions. As a result of their tendency to put the needs of others before their own, INFJs may experience emotional exhaustion or boundary issues because they care so deeply about the feelings of others around them. INFJs have an advantage in analysis and critical thinking thanks to their tertiary function, introverted thinking, They are able to keep their intellectual independence and coolly assess any given scenario because to their innate reasoning. Although INFJs have a penchant for learning and contemplation, their introverted nature makes them vulnerable to overthinking and self-doubt. Although INFJs have their own distinct set of mental faculties, it is the interaction between these faculties that dictates how they make sense of the world. Inspiring people, coming up with big ideas, and leading with integrity are all possible because they play to their strengths, which include intuition and empathy. However, these qualities might backfire if the individual becomes too reflective or emotionally burdened, which can result in self-doubt and paralysis. INFJs may overcome obstacles and attain their full potential by practicing cognitive balance and partaking in pursuits that foster a more rooted and present-minded way of life. They may flourish as the nuanced, loving people they truly are by embracing opportunities for self-improvement and accepting themselves as they are. INFJs are introverted thinkers who find comfort in writing, painting, and other forms of expression. They are very gifted at using words to convey the depth of their thoughts and feelings, whether in the form of creative expression, literature, or even counseling. They are able to think beyond the box because of their strong NI function, which fuels their expansive imagination and allows them to perceive connections between seemingly unrelated ideas. The combination of introverted intuition and extrovert feeling gives INFJs exceptional leadership potential. They're skilled at boosting morale and getting others excited about a common goal. They are natural mediators and peacemakers because of their in-depth comprehension of human emotions and motives. Since INFJs are good at seeing the broad picture and making connections between disparate concepts, they often come up with novel solutions to problems. They can look at problems from all angles and come up with novel solutions that no one else has thought of before. However, when INFJs confront skepticism or misunderstanding from others, their strengths can become liabilities. Insights and ideas from these people may be received with resistance or skepticism from more realistic people because of the unique prism through which they view the world. This might be discouraging for INFJs and make them second-guess themselves or stop speaking up about issues that matter to them. INFJs' propensity for empathy and their tendency to form deep bonds with others might make them susceptible to emotional tiredness and burnout. They may take on the feelings of others around them, which might increase their own levels of stress and exhaustion. The extrovert sensing function helps INFJs keep their equilibrium by teaching them to be more in the moment and open to sensory stimuli. INFJs might benefit from grounding themselves through mindfulness practices, physical activities, and time spent in nature to avoid getting too overwhelmed by their internal world. INFJs might gain strength from developing their introverted thinking as they mature. They may improve their self-assurance in making choices and their familiarity with their own thought processes by working on their logic and analysis abilities. They will be able to make educated decisions without being paralyzed by self-doubt if they can strike a balance between their emotional and intellectual selves. INFJs may use their innate intuition to foresee the future, allowing them to plan ahead effectively and achieve their goals. Because of their high level of extrovert feeling, they are able to persuade others to share their vision and work together toward a similar goal, therefore building a cohesive and cooperative group. Careers that allow them to serve others and are in line with their ideals are generally satisfying for INFJs. They may find success in helping others as therapists, psychologists, authors, artists, teachers, or activists. They are excellent role models for anyone who are trying to learn more about themselves because of the depth of their insight into human nature. Individually, INFJs might benefit from setting and sticking to healthy limits in their relationships. Because of their exceptional capacity for sympathy, they may feel compelled to ease the suffering of those around them. Realizing they can't make everyone happy, though, will help them take care of themselves and avoid emotional exhaustion. When INFJs learn to trust their innate intuition and empathy, they are better able to see toxic or manipulative people in their midst. If they listen to their intuition and stay away from toxic people, they may keep their mental and emotional health in good shape. To compensate for their weakness in extrovert sensing, INFJs might benefit by engaging in activities that heighten their awareness of and appreciation for the present moment. Their future-focused outlook may be complemented by activities like traveling, exploring the outdoors, or taking up a new hobby. If an INFJ wants to develop himself, they would do well to surround themselves with others who share their interests and ideals. Having supportive relationships with those who see and appreciate one's qualities may do wonders for one's feeling of self-worth and sense of belonging. INFJs can improve their communication abilities as they pursue their quest for self-knowledge and maturity. They will be able to connect with people on a deeper level and develop more meaningful connections as a result of their improved communication skills. INFJs do well to welcome ambiguity and change. Their introverted intuition gives them a clear picture of the future, but they still need to be prepared for the unexpected. Life is full of unexpected turns, but with practice, anybody can learn to roll with the punches while remaining loyal to their core principles and goals. Decisions are easier for INFJs since they are able to use both their intuition and their rational thinking. It's crucial that they trust their gut, but it's also a good idea to double-check their findings with some cold, hard data if you want a more well-rounded view. The ability to be more forceful might be useful for INFJs as well. People who place a premium on peace and compassion may be less likely to speak out for themselves or communicate their demands for fear of upsetting those around them. They may maintain their empathy without sacrificing their safety if they learn to assert themselves in a healthy way and explain their limits. It is essential for INFJs to accept their own frailties and flaws. Recognizing and appreciating their humanity can help them develop self-compassion and a healthier perspective on themselves despite their tendency toward perfectionism and self-criticism. Time spent reflecting and caring for oneself may go a long way towards fortifying one's emotional defenses against stress. Recharging activities like writing, meditation, or time spent alone can aid in emotional processing and the maintenance of a more stable emotional state. Chapter 2. INFJs and Empathy. INFJs are able to connect with others on a deeper level because of their superior emotional intelligence. People feel safe and at ease with them because of their ability to empathize with others. It's as if they have an innate radar for emotions, allowing them to pick up on the emotional needs of individuals around them long before those demands are verbalized. The ability of INFJs to empathize with others in a way that is both welcoming and non-judgmental is one of their greatest talents. No matter how complicated or difficult someone else's feelings are, they never rush to criticize or discard them. Instead, they provide a non-judgmental atmosphere where people may talk about how they really feel. Because of their receptive nature, others around them feel safe enough to share their innermost thoughts and feelings. Because of their exceptional sensitivity, INFJs frequently take on the role of emotional support system for their loved ones and coworkers. When others need to talk, they are drawn to an INFJ because they know they will receive compassionate attention and insightful advice. Because of their skill in guiding people through their own emotional difficulties, INFJs frequently play the role of counselor or confidant. When it comes to empathy, INFJs aren't confined to only those in their own social circle. They may also feel deeply for the plight of the world at large. They want to make the world a better place because of the compassion that pushes them to take action. However, an INFJ's extraordinary empathy may cut both ways. The depth of their feelings might sometimes overwhelm them to the point of empathy fatigue. Due to their strong desire to comprehend and aid others, they may struggle to establish and maintain healthy emotional boundaries. Therefore, INFJs must prioritize self-care in order to restore and sustain their emotional health. The INFJ is capable of self-compassion. They have a remarkable capacity for empathy and concern for others, but they have a hard time showing compassion for themselves. They may be too hard on themselves, prioritizing the happiness of others over their own feelings and needs. Neglecting one's own emotional needs in favor of those of others can leave one feeling depleted and emotionally spent. In order to triumph over these obstacles, INFJs need to cultivate a healthy dose of self-compassion to complement their natural abundance of empathy and compassion. They need to learn the value of prioritizing their own needs, establishing healthy limits, and caring for oneself. Recognizing their own feelings and wants allows them to refuel their emotional reserves so they can keep supporting others without compromising their own happiness. The emotional intelligence of an INFJ is a major factor in their choice-making. They are able to consider the emotional repercussions of their decisions and act accordingly. A more inclusive and compassionate approach to leadership and problem-solving can result from leaders who take into account the perspectives of everyone affected by their actions. Because of their strong capacity for empathy, INFJs are devoted and caring companions in romantic relationships. They have excellent emotional intelligence and work hard to make their home a peaceful and supportive place for their loved ones. On the other hand, they could be drawn to people who have emotional quirks or who are in need of healing, which can make for testing and deep connections. Empathy for others is intrinsically linked to INFJ's strong sense of purpose and drive to improve the world. They are typically drawn to fields and occupations where they may be agents of change and aid others. The INFJ's desire to help others and make a difference motivates them to pursue careers in counseling, education, the arts, and advocacy. Although INFJ's capacity for empathy is a great strength, they need to guard against becoming overwhelmed by their feelings. It may be crucial for their mental health to participate in activities like journaling, meditation, or artistic expression that facilitate the processing and release of negative feelings. They can find helpful channels for expressing their own thoughts and needs by reaching out to supportive friends, partners, or therapists. INFJs are defined by their high levels of empathy and emotional intelligence. They have a significant effect on people's lives and on society as a whole because of their empathy and their conviction in a greater good. INFJs may make the most of their innate capacity for empathy in the lives of people around them by developing skills in emotional self-care and compassion. Because of their innate tendency towards empathy, INFJs are frequently pulled towards introspection and self-improvement as they mature. They are naturally inquisitive, and this has led them to study fields like psychology, philosophy, and spirituality. The road of discovery leads people to a greater feeling of authenticity and fulfillment as they learn more about themselves and the world around them. Because of their high levels of empathy, INFJs are able to form deep connections with the people in their lives. True friends listen intently, provide a safe place to vent, and provide words of encouragement when called for. INFJ's warm, compassionate presence may bring great consolation to individuals going through tough times because of their innate knowledge of other people and their want to help. Even though they prefer to spend their time alone, INFJs usually have a wide variety of friends from many areas of life. Because of their willingness to learn from others and their capacity for unconditional empathy, they have cultivated a close-knit and welcoming group of friends. An INFJ's empathetic nature might make them a valuable asset in the workplace. They can effortlessly arbitrate disagreements by understanding and empathizing with both sides. Because of their insight into people's true goals and desires, they are able to foster an encouraging and productive work atmosphere in which everyone can contribute. In high-stress situations or when seeing great pain, however, INFJs may find it difficult to bear the emotional burden of others around them. Because of the toll it may have on their emotions, it's important that they learn to manage their stress effectively. INFJs who have reached adulthood may find meaning in using their empathetic and perceptive natures to improve the world. They could take up the mantle of activist, working for various social and environmental concerns. Because of their empathic nature, they often advocate for issues that have broad societal benefits, which fits nicely with their aspiration to make a good difference. How INFJs pick up on the feelings of others around them. When engaging with others, INFJs have a remarkable knack for picking up on their unspoken feelings. It's almost as if they can read between the lines and figure out the true meaning of someone else's words or behavior. Because of their perceptiveness, They are able to form meaningful relationships with others and ensure that they are heard and understood. When it comes to helping others, INFJs have a genuine desire to guide them through their own emotional turmoil and bring them to a place of calm. They have the ability to listen attentively and empathically, allowing others to unburden themselves in their presence. Their willingness to put themselves in others' shoes makes it safe for them to be themselves around them. Individuals with high levels of INFJ tend to be optimistic and believe in the good in others. They might serve as an inspiration for others, propelling them to do their best and achieve their goals. Their kind and perceptive advice frequently aids their clients in making sense of difficult events and developing self-awareness. INFJ's natural tendency towards empathy might take its toll on their mental and emotional health. They're like a sponge, soaking up everyone else's feelings and carrying them about until it's too much. It is crucial for INFJs to prioritize their own health and happiness by learning to create healthy limits, rest, and deal with their feelings. In trying circumstances, INFJs may feel moved to action because they care profoundly about the plight of others and want to make a difference. Careers in counseling, therapy, social work, or other helpful professions appeal to them since they can use their empathy to help others. INFJs have a deeper appreciation for the complexities of human nature as they practice using their inherent capacity to empathize with others. Their perceptiveness and empathy make it possible for them to understand individuals and the forces that drive them. Because of this insight, they are able to provide others with counsel and advice that truly helps them progress in life. When it comes to building trust and safety in relationships, INFJs are experts. Many people find comfort in being with INFJs since they know they can be open and honest about their struggles without being judged. When it comes to making others feel safe expressing their feelings, INFJs are unrivaled. By showing people that it's okay to feel whatever they're feeling, you help them recover by facing their own demons and starting their own journey of self-discovery. The INFJ's capacity for empathy is so strong that it often transcends beyond their closest personal relationships. They seem to have a natural capacity for empathy, which manifests itself in a sensitivity to the plight of people all around the world. They are motivated by a genuine care for the welfare of others to take part in selfless activities like donating to charities and fighting for social justice. They have an innate understanding of the emotional requirements of others within a group setting. INFJs have an extraordinary knack for navigating intricate group dynamics and mediating disagreements. They try to bring people with different viewpoints together and help them understand one another. Finding a happy medium between their altruism and their need for isolation and personal space may be difficult for INFJs. INFJs need to learn to set boundaries and prioritize self-care to prevent burnout from their tendency to empathize with and take on the emotions of others. In spite of difficulties, INFJs like serving others in their capacities as counselors and healers. Their capacity to make a difference in the world and help others they meet develop and change gives them a sense of fulfillment and significance. They value the relationships they have with people and see each encounter as a chance to improve someone's life. As INFJs progress in their position as natural counselors and healers, they may feel compelled to experiment with different techniques and approaches in order to provide the best assistance possible for others around them. They are always learning and reading about human psychology, spirituality, and emotional health because of their voracious curiosity and need for self-improvement. INFJs are unique because they can provide advice that is both compassionate and realistic. They understand the emotional challenges of people and are able to offer concrete suggestions for improvement. They are able to see through to the root of the problem, using their innate intuition to pinpoint the thought processes and values that are stifling their development. The empathy that characterizes INFJs is not limited to their words. They have a way with words, picking their words with care to match the tone of voice of the person they are trying to aid. When people are able to communicate with one another empathically, it fosters a safe space in which they feel comfortable expressing their feelings and learning from the experience. INFJs may delve into many ideologies, faiths, and spiritual practices in their quest to comprehend the human condition. They gain a broader perspective and a more thorough comprehension of the complexity of human life as a result of this investigation. They are curious in other worldviews and actively seek for the commonalities that unite all living things. While INFJs are great at being there for others, they may have trouble expressing their own feelings and needs. Since they care so deeply about other people, they frequently put their own emotional needs second. In order to keep their own emotional equilibrium and well-being, INFJs must be aware of this inclination. INFJs typically find their life's calling as they evolve into their natural roles as counselors and healers. The work they do evolves into something more meaningful, a calling in which they may fully express who they are. They have a strong desire to make a positive impact on the world and help others on their path to growth and recovery. Relationally, INFJs are highly valued and respected by the people they care about. Their actions have a domino effect, inspiring empathy and kindness in others around them. There are many people whose lives have been impacted by an INFJ who will be eternally thankful to them for the help and direction they got. How INFJs can better care for themselves emotionally. Recognizing and respecting one's own feelings and limits is essential to an INFJ's emotional well-being. Understanding the difference between your own feelings and the sentiments of people around you is essential. Journaling, meditation, or talking to a trusted friend or therapist can all help you take some time to process and comprehend your feelings. Put your own needs first and practice compassion for yourself. If you're an INFJ, setting limits is essential for controlling your emotions. While your caring personality may make you want to help everyone, it's important to recognize your own limitations and express them clearly. Master the art of the firm no and letting go of any associated guilt. Keep in mind that taking care of yourself first will allow you to help others more effectively in the long term. It's important for an INFJ to find ways to express their unique blend of creativity and introversion. Keeping your feet on the ground and your emotions in check can be achieved through creative pursuits like writing, painting, or pursuing a hobby. You may replenish your energy and find peace by practicing mindfulness or going for a walk in the park. Building relationships with others who share your values and respect your sensitivity may be quite beneficial. Having supportive individuals in your life might help you feel secure to express your feelings and reach your full potential. INFJ-specific online or offline networks can be great for meeting like-minded people. It's important to give your emotional reserves time to recharge apart from the world. The intensity of their own or other people's emotions might be too much for an INFJ to handle at times. Maintaining emotional stability and avoiding burnout can be aided by scheduling frequent time alone for reflection, recuperation, and regrouping. Being aware of the underlying emotional dynamics in your interactions is also essential for an INFJ. It's important to make sure your emotional support is mutual if you tend to be someone else's go-to confidant out of kindness. If you want to feel happy and fulfilled, it's important to surround yourself with people who will support you just as much as they will support you. Active listening and empathy are two skills you may use to help others. You have the ability to sense a person's emotions even if they don't say anything about them. By participating actively in talks and allowing people to feel comfortable opening up about their feelings, you may help them feel heard and understood. Don't take on other people's problems and make them your own, though. INFJs may experience emotional weariness because they have trouble distancing themselves from the feelings of persons they care about strongly. Keep in mind that you may be encouraging without taking on all of the other person's feelings. Maintain a healthy emotional distance while showing compassion and empathy. Keep in mind that you are not expected to be the one to satisfy everyone's needs and solve everyone's issues as you negotiate the complexity of being a support person. Recognize that it is okay to accept that you cannot make everyone happy. Foster independence by giving people the freedom to figure out problems on their own and learn from their mistakes. One of the most important parts of taking care of your mental health is reaching out for help when you need it. Don't wait to contact a therapist or counselor if you need help if you can't handle the emotional toll of being a carer. Consulting a mental health expert may provide you with useful skills for dealing with difficult emotions and overcoming obstacles in life. It is crucial to keep a growth mentality as you continue your path towards emotional self-management and social support. Recognize that maintaining mental health is a journey, one in which you are allowed to make errors and experience setbacks. Recognize the time and work required for self-improvement and treat yourself kindly. Use grounding techniques to bring oneself back to the here and now during times of high stress or overwhelming emotion. Taking some deep breaths, practicing mindfulness, or actively focusing on your surroundings are all great ways to calm your mind and heart. You can keep your bearings and keep from being swept away by your feelings if you practice mindfulness. Don't forget to honor the difference you make in the world. Individuals who identify as INFJ have a special gift for motivating and influencing those around them for the better. Be pleased with the help you give and the compassion you show. Honor your accomplishments, no matter how insignificant they may appear, and let them serve as motivation. Keep an eye out for indications of burnout as you strike a balance between helping others and taking care of yourself emotionally. Pay attention to how you feel, especially if you're tired, irritable, or emotionally distant. These symptoms suggest you take a break to focus on yourself. Give yourself frequent opportunities to commune with Mother Nature. INFJs can benefit greatly from time spent in nature, whether it's walking, relaxing by a lake, or trekking through the mountains. The beauty and serenity of nature have a special way of recharging and refreshing your soul. Learn to be kind and forgiving to yourself. If you're an INFJ, you may be your own worst critic and hold yourself to impossible standards. Keep in mind that flaws and blunders are inherent to the human condition. You should show yourself the same compassion and generosity you show to others. Chapter 3. Finding Meaning as an INFJ. INFJs have an extraordinary capacity for depth of perception thanks to their innate empathy and sensitivity. They have an innate knack for picking up on other people's feelings and experiences, making them excellent listeners and confidants. Because of their compassion, they want to make a positive impact on the world and the people in it. They aren't just looking for answers outside of themselves, but within of themselves as well. INFJs are introverted thinkers who feel safest when they are alone with their own thoughts, feelings, and convictions. They have a deep desire to know themselves better and identify the motivations behind their behaviors. With this newfound insight, they are better able to make decisions that reflect their true beliefs. When it comes to finding fulfillment in life, an INFJ will look beyond the obvious. They look for meaning in work that speaks to their deepest convictions. This motivation typically stems from a selfless desire to help others and have a constructive effect on the world. They feel an underlying need to make a positive impact and leave the world in a better state than they found it. Because of their introverted and caring personalities, INFJs often turn to the arts as a means of therapy and personal growth. Expression is important to INFJs because it allows them to process their complex feelings and thoughts in a way that can be understood by others. For INFJs, the search for deeper meaning and purpose may be both a blessing and a curse. Due to their profound feelings, they may experience existential crisis or a sense of helplessness in the face of the world's complexity. They may begin to wonder why they were here on this earth and struggle to find order in an apparently random universe. INFJs generally need time alone for introspection and growth. They use this time to refocus, remember what's important to them, and figure out what they're here to do. The development of an INFJ is not a linear process, but rather a never-ending quest for wisdom. In the end, the INFJ's strong need for meaning and purpose determines how they behave, interact with others, and contribute to society. To individuals in need of guidance and advocacy, they are great advocates and guides because of their rare ability to combine empathy, intuition, and reflection. As an INFJ pursues their life's meaning, They may be attracted to careers that allow them to put their ideals into practice while also making a difference in the world. They may go into fields such as teaching, counseling, social work, or activism, where their capacity for empathy would be put to good use in assisting others. They have a strong capacity for empathy in intimate partnerships. INFJs are often devoted to developing meaningful relationships, always striving to better comprehend and assist those closest to them. They are trustworthy pals who will always be there to talk to or depend on. INFJs have a deep need for friendship and understanding, yet their unconventional viewpoint can make them feel alone and misunderstood. The few meaningful connections they do have may become even more precious due to their unique sense of isolation. They tend to value being themselves and look for connections with those who do the same. While the INFJ's interest in the world at large stems from their inward focus on meaning, that focus is not exclusive. They like contemplating the meaning of life, learning about different religions, and engaging in deep philosophical conversations. Because of their innate perceptiveness, they are able to make connections and see patterns that others overlook, providing valuable insights that might advance our collective knowledge. The INFJ's tendency towards reflection might often lead them to doubt their own convictions. They are willing to reconsider and adjust their viewpoints in light of fresh information or experiences. Their path will be more meaningful and formative because of their openness to change and development. INFJ's pursuit of meaning and purpose is not fueled by egoism or the need for approval from others. They're driven, rather, by a deep-seated want to make a positive difference in the world. Their activities are guided by a desire to make the world a better place, which is what drives them. The INFJ finds immense excitement and satisfaction in their search for meaning, despite the fact that it can be difficult and bring about moments of doubt. They are fulfilled when they are able to help others and act in accordance with their deepest beliefs. The INFJ may struggle with the intricacies of life and the human condition as they go forward on their quest for meaning and purpose. They may feel personally affected by the world's problems and injustices, prompting them to take action to effect good change. They may become activists for issues they care deeply about, working to effect positive change in their communities and the world around them. Despite their natural tendency towards empathy and selflessness, INFJs need to prioritize their own well-being. They may experience emotional weariness or burnout as a result of the weight of their search and the intensity of their feelings. In order to preserve their mental health, it is essential that they set appropriate limits and practice self-care. Because of their introspective and perceptive nature, they can frequently sense others' potential even when the target people themselves fail to do so. Mentors and guides come naturally to INFJs because of their talent for revealing others' potential and guiding them through difficult situations. INFJs may experience periods of doubt or confusion as they search for significance in their lives. They may wonder if their lives are actually purposeful or if their efforts are making a difference. They remind themselves of the positive influence they have on the lives of others around them, and take strength from their inner resources and the comfort of their close relationships. The INFJ's profound need for meaning might also lead them to experiment with other religions and philosophies. They may look to other worldviews for guidance and inspiration, incorporating their ideas into their own. As a result of their spiritual quest, they feel a deeper connection to all life and are more driven than ever to work towards a more peaceful and compassionate society. Because of their exceptional capacity for empathy, INFJs may be attracted to others in their social circles who are in desperate need of comfort and healing. They may feel responsible for the happiness of others, which is both a blessing and a burden in this dynamic. One of the most important things a person can learn is how to help others while yet letting them find their own way. The INFJ's search for meaning becomes into a lifetime process as they get older. Their sense of meaning develops with time, leading individuals to act more truthfully and fully in accordance with their values. They learn more about themselves and how they can make a difference in the world as they pursue both purpose and self-discovery simultaneously. INFJs need to change the world. Their special combination of personality traits and mental abilities makes them idealists and compassionate dreamers, the qualities that give rise to this profound need. The INFJ isn't content to just exist. They want to have a positive impact and make the world a better place. Their strong feeling of duty to others motivates them to work tirelessly to achieve their goals. INFJs have an uncanny knack for seeing underneath the surface, where others' true troubles and hopes lie. They have an emotional connection to the world because of their deep comprehension, and they often take on the world's pain as their own. This bond motivates them to work diligently for a more equitable and caring society. INFJs are steadfast in their adherence to their core beliefs and ideals. Their intuition acts as a compass, helping individuals make sound decisions in difficult circumstances. This internal compass leads people to choices that are consistent with their core values, even if it means they have to go against the grain. They are driven by an unyielding idealism and honesty that keeps them focused on their aims. The need for approval from others is not the only motivation for this effort. They may take pride in being recognized for their efforts, but they are most fulfilled when they believe their work has helped another person or advanced a greater good. To make a difference, INFJs frequently push themselves beyond their limits, taking on tasks that others would avoid. Whether it's campaigning for a cause, volunteering, or helping people in need, they aren't hesitant to roll up their sleeves and get involved. Their desire to help others stems from a deep well of compassion and empathy. This dedication to principle, though, can be exhausting for INFJs. Since they care so deeply about their work, they may quickly get emotionally and mentally drained if they don't take breaks. It may be difficult for them to satisfy both their personal needs and their desire to make a difference. Because of their innate nurturing tendencies, they frequently put the needs of others ahead of their own. INFJs find consolation and strength in their capacity to connect emotionally with those who share their beliefs and aspirations despite the difficulties they experience and the emotional toll of their persistent efforts. They look for other people who share their values and interests, building a community of mutual support and understanding that will carry them through adversity. These friendships not only boost your spirits, but also provide you the opportunity to learn and develop personally. The INFJ is not restricted to spectacular gestures or large-scale projects in their quest of constructive change. They appreciate the value of little, ordinary deeds that may improve the quality of another person's life. One person's act of kindness may inspire others and have a positive impact on the world. INFJs recognize the significance of these behaviors and incorporate them into their relationships with others, making the world a kinder and gentler place one encounter at a time. Because of their unique combination of introversion and extroversion, INFJs are able to see beyond the status quo and encourage others to do the same. Potential exists even when others perceive just obstacles, and their ability to think laterally allows them to come up with novel solutions. Even the most confident and certain INFJ can experience doubt and disappointment in themselves. Their habitual introspection and deep thought might often cause them to doubt their skills or the significance of their efforts. In these trying times, it is especially important to have the love and encouragement of their close-knit community who can remind them of the lives they have changed for the better. The pursuit of fame or fortune doesn't drive an INFJ. Their motivation to make a difference extends beyond their own personal fulfillment. They may take pleasure in the fruits of their labors, but they are most content when they know that they are acting in accordance with their principles and benefiting society as a whole. INFJs promote a culture of empathy and understanding wherever they go as part of their mission to make a good difference. They are empathetic and open-minded, so others feel comfortable sharing their thoughts and feelings without fear or criticism. By being themselves, they inspire others to do the same and make a difference in the world. On their quest to make a difference in the world, INFJs frequently gravitate towards careers that play to their own abilities. Careers like counseling, social work, teaching, and other helpful professions attract many INFJs because they allow them to personally support and empower others in need. Their natural empathy and insight into people's motivations and feelings set them apart as ideal candidates for these positions. INFJs are successful in leadership roles because their intuitive and strategic thinking allows them to influence organizational change and implement projects that are consistent with their beliefs. They are experts at making their teams feel welcome and appreciated while also providing many opportunities for development. In addition to their careers, INFJs frequently find other ways to communicate their thoughts, feelings, and convictions through the arts. People who want to share their ideas and motivate others to take action often do so through creative outlets, including writing, painting, and music. Their art provides a strong forum for advocating positivity, compassion, and fair treatment for all people. It is possible that INFJs may experience failures and hurdles that will test their determination as they continue to invest in their interests and causes. But they are strong because of the principles they fight for, and they never give up. They come to accept the necessity of change and growth in their lives, even if it is slow in coming. Although INFJs may appear reserved at first glance, they tend to speak up when it counts. They have the potential to be powerful spokespersons for those who are silenced or marginalized, speaking up forcefully for issues that resonate with their core values of fairness and justice. The connections INFJs make help them on their path to making a difference in the world. Genuine friendships are important to them, so they tend to hang out with people who encourage them to grow and develop. Having friends and family who care about them and want them to succeed gives them strength and encouragement to keep going. Although INFJs are dedicated to helping others, even the most empathetic among them can experience periods of uncertainty and introspection. They could wonder if their efforts are actually making a difference. During these times of weakness, it is especially important for individuals to show compassion for themselves and acknowledge the significant contribution they have made, even if it is not always obvious. How to strike a middle ground between ideals and realism. For an INFJ, striking a middle ground between ideals and realism can be a life-altering experience. As INFJs, we're naturally drawn to big ideas that have the potential to improve people's lives and the world at large. Our empathy and our faith in humanity's capacity for progress feed our idealism. But this idealistic outlook might put us in a position of being let down when reality doesn't measure up to our aspirations. It's crucial that we accept our idealistic selves because that's what drives us to dream of a better world and look for deep connections with other people. Understanding and caring for individuals around us is made possible by our capacity for empathy. We have a dream of how the world could be, and it's that dream that drives us to keep pushing for progress. Still, we need to learn to balance our ideals with pragmatism. This does not necessitate giving up on our goals or accepting mediocrity. Instead, it entails accepting the fact that development is often slow and difficult. There is a chance that we may face difficulties, setbacks, and constraints that will test our optimism. When this happens, it's important to remember that there are many possible routes that might get us where we want to go. INFJs have a tendency to be critical of both themselves and those around them. While this kind of ambition is admirable, it must be tempered with empathy and kindness if it is to succeed. People are nuanced, and we must accept that not everyone will share our goals or values. We can choose to not let this deter us, and instead work to uncover areas of agreement and foster deeper mutual understanding. Self-awareness serves as a beacon in the search for a middle ground between idealism and realism. When we know our own capabilities and limits, we may avoid overextending ourselves and instead focus on what we can do. It also alerts us to the times when our idealism has us fantasizing instead of taking action to make a difference. Mindfulness training may also prove useful. Being mindful allows us to take in the wonder and possibility of our surroundings while keeping us firmly planted in the here and now. Keeping these things in mind keeps us from becoming lost in false hopes or giving up in the face of adversity. Finding a group of people who will encourage you might be really beneficial. When we make connections with others who share our beliefs and values, we get support, direction, and opportunities to work together. When we work together, we can make a bigger splash and produce more lasting change. There may likely be times of self-doubt and despair as we seek equilibrium. Any effort to make a positive change in your life is bound to encounter obstacles and frustrations. As an INFJ, we may be more vulnerable to the pain of rejection and the disappointment that comes with falling short of our own ideals. Self-compassion is a potent weapon in these situations. We may be gentle and forgiving with ourselves, realizing that we are doing our hardest and that improvement takes time. The desire to learn from our achievements and disappointments is another factor to think about while seeking balance. It's important to recognize and relish even the most seemingly little successes along the path. However, don't be afraid to admit when you're wrong and use it as motivation to improve. As INFJs, we have a tendency to put the needs of others before our own, which can lead to burnout. To achieve harmony, one must prioritize self-care and establish reasonable limits. Your emotional and mental well-being should be a top priority, so don't feel guilty about taking breaks or asking for help. If we take care of ourselves, we can keep going strong for as long as it takes to achieve our goals. In addition, we should not lower our standards in order to find a middle ground between idealism and reality. Instead, we need to figure out how to make our values work in the actual world. Making little adjustments, collaborating with others, or actively seeking out situations where our own skills may shine are all viable options. Third, remember that patience is a virtue. It's crucial to keep your spirits up and work steadily towards your goals, as positive transformation can be a slow process. Have faith in the path you're on and the work you're doing, since it all adds up in the end. Finding a happy medium between idealism and realism is an ongoing process that must be kept in mind as we go forward on our path. It's a never-ending cycle that necessitates introspection, flexibility, and development. Our hopes and objectives evolve alongside us as we go through life. To adapt to the ever-shifting environment, we INFJs may find ourselves frequently rethinking our objectives, revising our targets, and readjusting our strategies. It's important to have a diversified and encouraging social network during this process. Spending time with people who question our assumptions and provide useful criticism might help us learn more about the world. When we talk to other people about our hopes and dreams, we all learn from one another and are motivated to work together to make our dreams a reality. Let us also appreciate the splendor of ambiguity and the might of fortitude as we strike a balance between idealism and realism. There is no guarantee that realizing our goals will be easy or without hiccups. However, it is in the face of adversity and uncertainty that we may best draw from our own reserves of strength and resolve. Accepting the unknown can sometimes lead to lucky breaks and other surprises. Keeping an open mind helps us to see the opportunities presented by unforeseen events and adjust our strategy accordingly. Keep in mind that we may learn the most by pushing ourselves outside of our comfort zones and into the unknown. Keeping an attitude of thankfulness may change your life in extraordinary ways. Being grateful allows us to see the value in our accomplishments, no matter how modest, and fosters an optimistic outlook that provides the fire for our motivation. Honor the feelings of happiness, closeness, and success that come from acting in accordance with your values. As INFJs, our idealism isn't simply a quality we bring to ourselves. It's a present we give to the world. The ability to imagine a better world and motivate others to join us in creating it is a potent source of influence. By being transparent about our goals, we may inspire people around us to act with greater kindness and empathy. Chapter 4. INFJs as Introverts. As introverts, INFJs prefer to spend time alone and replenish their reserves there. They value solitude and introspection and are characterized by these traits. They like social contacts, although they may be taxing on their energy and emotional reserves. Just because someone is introverted doesn't imply they hate people or won't ever go out. It just means they handle social situations differently. When it comes to their social relationships, INFJs value depth above breadth. Instead of having a large number of superficial acquaintances, They would rather have a small number of significant relationships. They are selective since it requires effort and energy to fully comprehend and empathize with others. They look for others who share their beliefs and passions in order to feel accepted and true to themselves. Large or loud social events can be particularly taxing on INFJs. If they're overstimulated by the world around them, they may retreat inside themselves to recover. They may have a sense of disconnection or absent-mindedness while they analyze these events in their heads. INFJs have a reputation for being attentive listeners in social situations. They have a predisposition to empathize with and validate the feelings of others around them, making them reliable confidants. They are sensitive to nonverbal indications and can provide emotional support and insightful advice as a result. However, this profound insight also comes with the risk of carrying the feelings of others around them. Writers and one-on-one chats are usually where INFJs feel most at ease expressing themselves. They may find it difficult to make small talk and would rather have deep conversations about the intricacies of life, relationships, and self-improvement. Since INFJs are introverted and like to keep to themselves, they may be cautious to open out to new people. They may seem reticent or guarded at first, but when they've built trust with you, they're easy to talk to. Because of their aversion to feeling exposed or misunderstood, INFJs need to develop trusting relationships before they can feel safe opening up about their inner thoughts and feelings. Individuals with the INFJ personality type tend to be perceptive and sympathetic in social situations. They may subconsciously alter their actions to preserve group cohesion, putting others' needs above their own at times. An INFJ's extroversion shines through when they're surrounded by others who share their interests and values. If they identify a cause they care about, they may become effective leaders and advocates for that cause by drawing on their innate wisdom and compassion. INFJ's tendency for introversion impacts how they engage with others, influencing their desire for deep relationships and discussions, appreciation for solitude, and ability to strike a balance between empathy and sensitivity in social settings. Their unique abilities and compassionate nature make them wonderful friends and companions, despite the difficulties they may encounter in some social settings. When under pressure or feeling overwhelmed, INFJs may turn inside even more. They need time alone to go through their feelings and ideas, and they actively look for safe places to retreat to in order to do so. For INFJs, connecting with others is about more than just exchanging pleasantries. It's about learning and growing from one another. They view encounters with others as chances to grow in self-awareness and emotional acuity. However, this also implies that they are more susceptible to the effects of stressful or toxic social settings, which can lead to emotional exhaustion and eventually burnout. Since INFJs are so good at picking up on the feelings of others around them, they may find themselves serving as the relationship's emotional center. Their sympathetic personality may make them the go-to person for advice and comfort among their friends and family. INFJs get their energy from helping others, but they need to set limits or they'll burn out. Their introversion makes them exceptionally self-aware and reflective. They put in the work to learn about themselves, their beliefs, values, and what drives them, and that helps them feel like their lives have meaning. Because of this introspection, they're able to interact with people on a deeper level, based on mutual appreciation and kindness. Creative and contemplative endeavors, like writing, drawing, or spending time in nature, are common sources of fulfillment for INFJs. These activities provide a safe space for people to express and work through their inner turmoil, which in turn can have a beneficial effect on their relationships. Even if they like their own company, INFJs know how crucial it is to have a group to call home. People in this situation may seek out communities with members who share their ideals and goals. When an INFJ does discover their people, they become extremely loyal and committed friends who value the feeling of community and shared experience that comes from belonging to a small group. It's worth noting that different INFJs will show different levels of introversion, and that their social behavior will change depending on their environment, their experiences, and their own development. Some INFJs may be more extroverted and socially flexible than others, But this does not change the fact that introversion is fundamental to their personality. INFJs get better at managing their introverted tendencies and social contacts as they get older. They get an appreciation for time alone without feeling guilty about it and understand the significance of self-care in preserving their health. INFJs learn to be more forceful in their relationships by learning to set boundaries and communicate their demands. They are aware of the need of saving their emotional reserves for the relationships that mean most to them. They may still be the sympathetic listeners and rock-solid supporters of their loved ones, but they've learned that doing so might be harmful to their own well-being. Because of their tendency towards introspection, INFJs are also eager to learn new things and better themselves. They could try to learn more about themselves and what sets off their emotions through introspection, meditation, or counseling. By exploring their own minds, people find out what really matters to them, what they want out of life, and what path they should take to get there. Because of their introversion and intuition, INFJs are able to spot opportunities that others might miss. They have the ability to empathize with others and see below the surface to their true motives and difficulties. In their social circles, they can serve as effective mediators and problem solvers, bringing together people of different backgrounds to work together. As INFJs become older, they gain the courage to share their own points of view. The person realizes the value of being authentic to themselves despite having previously felt like the odd one out, owing to their unique perspective on the world. Making genuine connections with others who understand and value their introversion may also make social encounters more meaningful and satisfying for INFJs. In order to have meaningful conversations with others who share their interests, they may seek out certain locations. When it comes to interpersonal connections, INFJs' intuitive and sympathetic skills are second to none. They typically feel strongly about doing good in the world and promoting social justice. Because of their natural inclination towards introspection, they are able to approach advocacy from a place of deep consideration and empathy. The difficulties of being both outgoing and reserved while yet advocating for causes close to their hearts. It's well knowledge that INFJs will fight tooth and nail for the things they care about. They are motivated to make a positive change in the world by their strong capacity for empathy and compassion. When they find a cause they care deeply about, they throw themselves into it with everything they've got, frequently speaking out for people who can't speak for themselves. Their ability to empathize with others and persuade them comes from their extensive knowledge of the human condition. They are able to get to the bottom of issues and come up with workable solutions because of their high level of emotional intelligence. They have a natural knack for seeing the broad picture and understanding how many social, environmental, and humanitarian problems are interrelated. INFJs face particular difficulties when it comes to assertiveness because of their introversion. They get their strength from inside and like to be alone to refuel since they are introverts. But advocacy calls for being in the spotlight, talking to others, and standing out for what you believe in. Finding a happy medium between being forceful and needing time alone might be difficult for some people because of this contradiction. Advocacy work might be another challenging environment for INFJs. They have a profound capacity for sympathy, making them especially attuned to the distress of those around them. They may experience burnout or severe anxiety as a result of carrying this emotional load. INFJs may struggle constantly to strike a balance between their strong desire to serve others and the necessity of taking time for themselves. Also, when speaking up for unorthodox or unpopular causes, INFJs sometimes meet with skepticism or opposition. Their mild manner might be seen for a sign of weakness or indecision. Because of this, others around them may misjudge how serious they are about their cause. For an INFJ who cares deeply about their advocacy job, encountering criticism or disagreement might be disappointing. INFJs can call on their extraordinary reserves of inner strength and resilience to triumph over these obstacles. To help them through tough times, they can use their capacity to develop meaningful relationships with people who share similar values. In order to keep their mental health in check and keep fighting for their causes with resilience, They must establish appropriate boundaries and find methods to recharge in isolation. In spite of setbacks, INFJs are generally successful leaders because of the enthusiasm they generate for their objectives. Despite the difficulties of assertiveness and introversion, they are able to have a significant effect on the world thanks to their special combination of empathy, inventiveness, and conviction. INFJs may continue to be compassionate champions who leave a legacy of good change if they play to their strengths and remain loyal to their principles. INFJs learn to adjust and strengthen their communication abilities as they progress through their advocacy journey. They get that being assertive isn't the same thing as being aggressive, and they can articulate their opinions with clarity and conviction because of it. They figure out how to be confident without losing their ability to empathize with others, which earns them the respect of those around them. When it comes to lobbying, INFJ's natural talent for promoting mutual understanding and cooperation is one of their greatest strengths. They look for common ground and ways to bring people together who think differently when they have a disagreement. As a result of being naturally attuned to people's feelings and intentions, they are able to identify the sources of conflict and work towards mutually beneficial resolutions. In spite of their introverted nature, INFJs frequently take the reins in advocacy groups. Their leadership style is characterized by empathy, which has earned them the respect and loyalty of their employees. They promote the individual qualities and ideas of each member of the group, making it a place where everyone feels heard and respected. In order to prevent burnout, INFJs must learn to prioritize themselves and establish limits for themselves. They understand that prioritizing their own well-being is not selfish, but rather the bedrock upon which they may build a successful advocacy career. Long-term dedication to issues may be sustained by participation in activities that inspire new ideas and renew enthusiasm. As they travel the path of advocacy, INFJs draw strength from the trials they face and the emotions they feel. They develop the resilience and fortitude to persevere in the face of hardship, viewing challenges as invaluable learning experiences. In the process of advocating for others, they learn about themselves and grow as individuals. When INFJs take on the role of advocate for others, they learn to speak out for themselves. They appreciate the worth of their own viewpoints and skills, and they don't try to fit in with the rest of society. This realization gives them the ability to boldly request what they want, which in turn helps them accept and value themselves more. INFJs find their power in being themselves as they master the balancing act of assertiveness and introversion. They may not be the most outspoken people in the room, yet their remarks are powerful because of the honesty with which they are spoken. Their unassuming tenacity in the face of adversity makes an indelible mark on everyone around them, and their genuine concern for others is a powerful force for positive change. As INFJs persist in championing their causes and igniting good change, they also learn to maximize their effect by capitalizing on their distinctive abilities. Because of their imaginative and intuitive character, they are able to solve difficult challenges by coming up with novel strategies. Their ads, artwork, or tales typically make an emotional connection with people, which makes their messaging stick out on a deeper level. INFJs learn to harness the strength of introversion in their advocacy work, despite the fact that their introverted characteristics may still cause occasional obstacles. They know that the first step towards making a lasting change is looking within. Therefore, they place a premium on quiet contemplation and self-examination. Amidst the chaos and distractions of the outside world, they are able to find focus, hone their goals, and remain true to their principles by taking time to reflect in solitude. As INFJs gain experience as activists, they often serve as role models and advisors to younger activists. The advocacy community benefits from their openness to those in the field and their desire to help those just starting out. They know that the key to long-term success and leaving a legacy of positive change is investing in the enthusiasm and dedication of those around them. Throughout their advocacy work, INFJs develop resilience and a can-do attitude. They are realistic about the pace of change and understand that not every effort will produce visible benefits right away. Their relentless commitment to their causes, however, allows them to overcome obstacles, gain insight from their experiences, and refine their methods over time. When INFJs speak up for social, environmental, or humanitarian concerns, they often have to have challenging talks with others who have different opinions than their own. Instead than trying to force their will on others, they approach these situations with dignity, compassion, and curiosity. Their receptivity to new ideas and their capacity for empathy make them powerful communicators and bridge builders who facilitate conversation and mutual comprehension. In their pursuit of justice, INFJs keep the broader picture in mind at all times. They are part of a bigger movement striving for a more fair, compassionate, and equitable society and realize that lasting change may take time. The relationships they form, the people they help, and the hope they provide to others are just as important to them as any material success they may achieve. How to strike a balance between being alone and being with other people. Finding the sweet spot between introversion and extroversion is a delicate dance, but it's one that's essential for INFJs so that they can take care of themselves on all levels. Since INFJs are notoriously introverted and highly sensitive emotionally, striking this equilibrium is essential to their health and development as individuals. For the INFJ, solitude is a haven where they may go to get away from the world and focus on their own thoughts and feelings. In these alone times, they are free to explore their inner world and discover new perspectives. INFJs seek refuge from the world outside in their own minds and hearts via quiet contemplation and analysis. The outer world might be overwhelming for their sensitive spirits, so they need this time alone to recharge and restore their emotional equilibrium. Despite this, INFJs know the importance of having deep connections with others. They find meaning and fulfillment from genuine personal connections and are energized by meaningful, in-depth talks. Intuitive, feeling, and thinking-oriented people, INFJs, value opportunities to have meaningful relationships with others. The intellectual stimulation and spiritual enrichment that may be gained by interacting with people is undeniable. While the INFJ may find too much interaction with others to be exhausting, they recognize the importance of healthy connections to their own growth and feeling of belonging. They are selective about the people they associate with, preferring those who will respect their desire for solitude and who value their sensitivity and intuition. Connecting with others on a deep level creates a safe space where people can relax and be themselves without fear of being judged. INFJs use their innate self-knowledge and the practice of mindfulness to achieve this state of equilibrium. They tune in to the cues their bodies and brains are sending them, taking note of the times when they need time alone to recharge and the times when they need to be with other people. By listening to and acting on this inner guidance, people are better able to manage their energy and emotions during their interactions with others. INFJs understand the value of limits in their quest for harmony. They're straightforward about what they need, whether it's time alone to recover or to join in on group activities. By doing so, they cultivate an atmosphere of mutual support and respect inside their relationships, where understanding and empathy may flourish. INFJs are able to strike a balance between their solitary and sociable pursuits because they recognize the importance of both. They recognize the value of alone time via reflection and acceptance, using it to replenish their spirits and focus their imaginations. At the same time, they value genuine friendships since they know that people are their best source of motivation, development, and affection. INFJs can find happiness, success, and mental health if they learn to balance their need for isolation with their need for social connection. Because of their high levels of empathy and intuition, INFJs are fantastic confidants and listeners. They have a wonderful knack for picking up on the feelings of people and validating them, which they put to use by providing heartfelt encouragement. Fulfillment for INFJs comes from assisting others, especially those close to them, in facing and overcoming obstacles. INFJs use their alone time to explore their hobbies and passions, and they tend to be particularly drawn to the arts. Through these mediums, They're able to convey their thoughts and feelings in ways that mere words cannot. INFJs gain a sense of freedom and self-discovery via artistic expression, which improves their relationships with others and solidifies their sense of identity. INFJs value self-care as much as they value their relationships. They realize that taking care of themselves allows them to be more present and helpful in their relationships. They are able to keep their emotional equilibrium and refuel their energy stores by partaking in restorative activities like yoga, meditation, and time spent in nature. INFJs may discover happiness when they engage in pursuits that are in line with their beliefs and provide them with opportunities to positively affect the world around them. INFJs feel fulfillment when they're able to make a positive difference in the lives of others, whether via mentorship, social justice activism, or voluntary work. INFJs prefer quality over quantity when it comes to their social interactions. It's possible they'd rather avoid huge, superficial gatherings in favor of more personal, one-on-one relationships. By making individuals feel heard, seen, and understood, these interactions strengthen bonds between people. Although INFJs value their time alone, they're nevertheless receptive to the ideas and opinions of others. They understand that they may learn and grow by interacting with individuals and ideas that are different from their own. They are able to get insight from many perspectives, which in turn enhances their own creative processes. When faced with adversity or confusion, an INFJ may go within for answers. They are able to draw on their inherent introspection to persevere through adversity. They have the strength within to weather the storms of life without compromising their principles. Maintaining a healthy equilibrium between individual reflection and group interaction is a lifelong quest for INFJs. INFJs may have meaningful and successful lives by recognizing and appreciating their distinctive personality traits, meeting their need for reflection, and cultivating genuine relationships with others. INFJs have a good effect on the people and the environment around them because they strike a healthy balance between introversion and extroversion. The most satisfying jobs for INFJs are those that allow them to put their skills to use for a worthwhile organization. Their motivation comes from a deep-seated need to have a good impact on the world around them and the people they work with. Their ability to think outside the box and come up with novel approaches to issues makes them invaluable members of any team or undertaking. However, INFJs also know that it's crucial to protect themselves against burnout by establishing limits in the workplace. They recognize the importance of solo time for improving health and efficiency. They make time for their mental and emotional well-being, whether that's through regular breaks during the day or extracurricular pursuits. INFJs are able to form deep and lasting bonds with their loved ones because they take a well-rounded approach to relationships. Intimate interactions, shared adventures, and random acts of generosity all contribute to the formation of lasting memories for them. Because of their maturity and capacity for friendship, they're always there for their friends when they need them. In romantic relationships, INFJs look for partners who understand their need for alone time and have the capacity to reciprocate their intensity of feeling. When they are able to be themselves in a relationship that supports them, they flourish. In a romantic relationship, an INFJ will go above and beyond to make their partner feel special and appreciated. INFJs maintain a sense of inner calm and fulfillment while they venture out into the world because they strike a healthy balance between isolation and social involvement. Knowing that every new experience helps them develop as people and expand their worldview, they're willing to take risks and embrace the unknown. As they progress through life, INFJs may face obstacles and have periods of doubt. They may face challenges along the way, but they do it with grace and resilience thanks to their ability to think deeply and draw inspiration from time alone. They develop a healthy respect for their own knowledge and intuition, which leads them to pursue activities that are in line with their life's goals. INFJs that take the time to reflect may also learn surprising things about themselves, such as previously unknown qualities and skills. Those fortunate enough to know them well can attest that they become even more fascinating as they continue on their journey of self-discovery. Chapter 5. INFJs and relationships. The first step on the path to love for an INFJ is the discovery of a deep emotional bond with another person. They want someone who shares their curiosity about the world and can appreciate the depth of their feelings. Finding the needle in the haystack is a metaphor for how fascinating and difficult this journey can be for an INFJ. INFJs are cautious yet open-hearted after they've found a possible spouse who shares their beliefs and depth. They pay close attention to their gut instincts, which helps them evaluate the relationship's viability. When deciding whether or not to pursue a relationship, they often depend on intuition and subtle cues. When it comes to their significant others, INFJs are selfless and loyal. They value their spouse's emotional well-being highly and work hard to make their partner feel secure and cared for in their relationship. Because of their depth of emotional intelligence, they are excellent listeners and trustworthy confidants. The intensity of feelings felt by an INFJ may be both a strength and a weakness. On occasion, they may be overcome by the intensity of their partner's or their own sentiments. Because of their sensitivity, people may want quiet time alone to refuel and go through their feelings. The dynamics of a relationship between an INFJ and another person rely heavily on open lines of communication. Insight into their partner's sentiments comes naturally to them, but they may struggle with finding words to describe how they feel. Since INFJs value harmony and peace above all else, they may have trouble expressing their true feelings for fear of misunderstanding or confrontation. The health and development of a relationship may be tremendously aided by having partners who can promote and establish a safe environment for open communication. The love lives of INFJs are not immune to the effects of their idealism. They have a notion of what a great relationship should be like, and they work towards that goal together. As a result, they may demand a lot from their romantic relationships, making it all the more important to choose someone who complements them. An INFJ spouse may be surprised by their thoughtfulness and spontaneity despite their solitary attitude. They could come up with thoughtful surprises or original methods to show their affection for one another. However, they may also require their partner's recognition and tolerance of their need for time alone for contemplation and renewal. An INFJ's love partner is someone they can learn and develop with over time. They hope to find someone with whom they can share their innermost thoughts and feelings, and they're prepared to go to great lengths to make it happen. They begin a profound and gratifying journey of love and self-discovery when they find a partner who shares their level of dedication and passion. As their love for their spouse grows, INFJs demonstrate an unrivaled amount of loyalty and dedication. They become their partner's biggest cheerleader, always encouraging them and supporting them no matter what. When it comes to their loved ones, INFJs are motivated by a deep need to see them succeed and flourish. When they feel safe enough to express their feelings, INFJs may be quite passionate and outspoken. They place a high importance on the emotional and intellectual closeness that comes with an intimate relationship. INFJs have a strong desire to be trusted and understood when they are at their most vulnerable. INFJs may experience internal tensions due to their fear of rejection or abandonment. They may be divided between the want to share their true feelings and the worry that doing so may cause their spouse to pull away. Their spouses must show them the patience and understanding they need to feel safe and cherished. INFJs are more likely to avoid conflict than to actively engage in it. They may avoid conflict by emotionally withdrawing rather than getting into a fight. Conflict might be very upsetting for them since they value peace so highly. For INFJs to feel secure expressing their worries and feelings during arguments, their partners must take a gentle and understanding approach. Purpose and meaning play a significant role in the lives of INFJs. They want to make a difference in the world and may enlist the help of their partners to do so. Having a common goal may enhance the bond between you and your spouse and bring you both a sense of satisfaction. Setting appropriate limits is a potential area of difficulty for INFJs in love partnerships. Their capacity for empathy might backfire, though, if they start internalizing their partner's issues instead of dealing with them on their own. Both parties' well-being and the partnership as a whole depend on their ability to strike a balance between selflessness and caring for others. Despite the obstacles, relationships with INFJs may be extremely fulfilling and satisfying when both partners recognize and accept each other's distinct characteristics. When two people share a strong emotional connection and a same goal, they might form a relationship that endures the test of time and becomes stronger with each passing day. An INFJ's intuitive nature may help them notice changes in their partner's emotional state and behavior as the relationship develops. They can sense when something is wrong or when one partner is holding back. Because of how sensitive they are to the dynamics of the relationship, their knowledge may be both a blessing and a hardship. Because of their high levels of empathy, INFJs frequently put their partner's needs above their own, even at the sacrifice of their own happiness. In order to keep their relationships healthy and long-lasting, INFJs must remember that putting themselves first is not selfish. When partners help their significant others develop self-compassion and the ability to advocate for themselves, everyone benefits. INFJs are passionate and loyal partners in a long-term relationship. They're looking for a lasting commitment because they know love and mutual understanding can change the world. They may put in a lot of work to maintain the connection and make sure it flourishes over time. The spiritual bond and same ideals between two INFJs might be the foundation for a long-lasting partnership. They may want a mate who is open to discussing philosophical and spiritual ideas with them. Their connection may strengthen and grow beyond the physical via the same experience of discovery they have together. It's possible that INFJs may continue to wow their spouses with their depth of feeling and originality even as their relationships develop. They have a wealth of creative energy to draw from in order to keep the passion burning. INFJs go out of their way to make their partners feel special by doing things like preparing thoughtful surprises and starting deep talks. However, problems may emerge in any kind of partnership. Because INFJs care so deeply about their partners, they may experience a dread of breaking up with them. Their spouses may see their extreme caution or reluctance to commit as signs of insecurity. Overcoming these doubts and building trust requires honest dialogue and reassurance on both sides. Each INFJ is an individual, and their experiences in romantic relationships may differ as a result. Some INFJs may give in to their idealism and hope for a happily ever after, while others will be more practical and work towards mutual progress and understanding. Despite these variations, the INFJ's primary relationship priority is still the maintenance of a genuine and fulfilling bond with their partner. How difficult it may be for them to meet people with whom they may form deep, lasting relationships. An INFJ's primary motivation is a commitment to helping others and improving the world. They express this need by actively seeking out partnerships with substantial emotional and intellectual content. They believe in encouraging one another's development and aspirations. Thus, they look for partners who share these traits. There are obstacles on the road to finding true friendship for an INFJ. They are elusive because they have a unique blend of characteristics and don't feel like they fit in with the norm. They may prefer more meaningful connections since, as introverts, they find it exhausting to talk about trivial topics. Because of the difficulty in finding others who genuinely understand them, this can contribute to feelings of loneliness and isolation. The INFJ's tendency towards idealism might backfire if they don't experience the depth of connection they want. People who are still holding out for the one sometimes miss out on good matches because they're too focused on finding someone who perfectly reflects their own ideas. INFJ's multifaceted selves contribute to their already difficult dating scene. They are private people who only let those they are quite close to in on their innermost thoughts and feelings. This introversion can make it hard for others to get to know the INFJ on a deep level, which would be a barrier to developing close friendships and romantic relationships. INFJs may also find it difficult to open out emotionally in relationships for fear of being rejected. Potential partners may never get to know them well because they're too afraid of rejection or misinterpretation to be open and honest. An INFJ's heightened sensitivity to emotional cues, however, can work both for and against them in the dating arena. However, this ability also comes with a dose of skepticism, leading people to wonder if their possible mate is being real or just putting on a show. Despite these obstacles, INFJs experience the most happiness when they discover partners who share their emotional depth and encourage their pursuit of their objectives. All the hardships they endured in quest of meaningful connections were rewarded by the profound feeling of understanding, connection, and shared purpose they experienced with a matching partner. An INFJ's capacity for love and commitment is limitless if they discover a mate who understands and respects their unique talents. Both parties invest deeply in the connection, making it a refuge where they may feel safe and cared for. Individuals with the INFJ personality type are well known for their unwavering loyalty and dedication to their spouses. When in a relationship, INFJs tend to be the supportive listener and reliable emotional rock for their partner. They are very attuned to their partner's feelings and wants, and they really want to help and encourage the people in their lives. Because of your caring and perceptive character, you and your spouse are likely to enjoy a mutually beneficial and satisfying relationship. Despite their deep need for companionship, INFJs should always put themselves first in partnerships. Their natural tendency to put others before themselves might cause them to put their own mental and physical health at risk by putting their partners first. When it comes to relationships, it's crucial for INFJs to set clear limits and be honest with their partners. Moreover, INFJs' idealism might make them ignore warning signs or put up with behavior that goes against their principles in the hopes that the other person would eventually come around. Because of this propensity, they may be more likely to attract unhealthy or toxic partners, highlighting the need for introspection and the courage to confront problems head-on. It might be difficult for the INFJ's spouse to completely comprehend them because of their guarded and secretive character. To close this gulf and strengthen the emotional connection between spouses, it is essential to work on building open lines of communication and trust. Finding people who share their beliefs and interests might be difficult for INFJs who are always reaching out to new people. They may struggle to connect with those who don't value self-improvement, reflection, and doing good in the world as much as they do. When they do, they hold their friendships with them in the highest regard. The INFJ's strength is in their ability to form deep relationships, which can be both a strength and a weakness. It's a boon since it helps individuals build connections with others that can change their lives forever. It's difficult since they have to locate people who can respect and accept them despite their quirks and weaknesses. Relationships are important to INFJs, but so is taking time for introspection. A key part of maturing is gaining an understanding of oneself, which clarifies one's wants, requirements, and limits. INFJs are able to make friends who share their ideals and who won't put their happiness at risk by taking the time to dwell on their own motivations and actions. However, INFJ's quest for deep relationships isn't always smooth sailing. Their intense feelings and need for genuine connection render them vulnerable to grief or disappointment if their partner fails to live up to their ideals. They may be tested in their resolve to maintain their integrity as they come to terms with the reality that not every relationship is destined to continue forever. INFJs may struggle with self-doubt or insecurity when they believe they don't fit in with society as a whole. They may start to wonder whether they are asking for too much or if their hopes for meaningful relationships are too idealistic. Understanding that their individuality is a source of strength is crucial for INFJs, as is accepting that it may take time and effort to find friends and romantic partners who understand and appreciate them. An INFJ's need for depth of relationship typically leads them to activities that allow them to express their unique talents and interests. As a method of establishing more meaningful relationships with themselves and others, they may turn to creative activities like painting, writing, or other types of self-expression. These platforms may also be used to find others who have the same aesthetic values as the creator. One of the most satisfying things for an INFJ is seeing the good they've done via their relationships. Their faith in the transformative and joyful potential of meaningful connections is reinforced by experiences such as witnessing the success of a friend they have helped or the closeness of a loving partner. An INFJ's idea of meaningful relationships may broaden to incorporate a greater sense of community and social influence as they mature. People who care about improving society and the lives of their fellow citizens may look for ways to do so. How to keep your relationships strong and how to solve frequent problems that arise in couples. Because of their high levels of empathy and intuition, INFJs have a special knack for connecting with others and understanding them on a profoundly emotional level. They place a high value on establishing and keeping positive connections with others. In order to do so, INFJs should focus on maintaining open lines of communication, understanding their own emotions, and establishing safe limits. The most important skill for an INFJ to develop is the ability to listen actively and empathically. While they have an exceptional capacity for empathy, they can sometimes get lost in their own heads. INFJs should make an effort to listen to their partner's thoughts and worries without passing judgment if they want to keep their relationship strong. This creates a safe space for honest communication, which benefits both parties. However, INFJs also have a tendency to keep their own feelings to themselves. They need to have an open dialogue with their spouses, where emotions are exchanged freely back and forth. By being themselves and saying what's on their minds, couples may strengthen their bonds and make each other more at ease with opening up. Because of their selfless nature, INFJs may put their partner's needs before their own. While this is a commendable trait, it's crucial for INFJs to remember the value of self-care and preserving their own identity within a partnership. INFJs can avoid exhaustion and feelings of overload by setting and maintaining healthy boundaries in their relationships. Idealizing their spouses is another prevalent issue for INFJs. This might place unnecessary strain on the partnership by leading to irrational expectations on both sides. Since no one is flawless, INFJs should learn to appreciate the quirks that set each individual apart. By letting go of preconceived notions, this acceptance allows for a more open and honest exchange. Fighting is an inevitable aspect of being in a relationship. Being averse to conflict, INFJs may find it difficult to deal with problems squarely. Avoiding disagreement, though, can keep issues from being addressed and fuel tensions. It is essential for INFJs to learn how to deal with conflict and solve problems in a positive way. This may be accomplished if they pick an appropriate time to talk about their issues, treat each other with respect, and look for ways to improve the situation rather than point fingers. INFJs should make sure they have friends and family outside of their relationship if they want to keep it healthy. Maintaining a healthy life balance and avoiding being emotionally reliant on a spouse is easier for INFJs when they spend time with friends, family, and other social activities. INFJs may strengthen their relationships by learning to embrace and value their uniqueness and the diversity of their partners. Even while it's normal for INFJs to want to connect deeply with others, they should keep in mind that everyone has their own set of emotional and behavioral quirks. INFJs can avoid fights and encourage their partners in their development if they can recognize and appreciate their differences. INFJs who want to maintain strong relationships should listen to their gut. When something doesn't seem right, INFJs should trust their intuition and discuss these sensations with their partners. Because of their exceptional capacity to discern underlying emotions and hidden ideas, INFJs are sometimes referred to as having a gut feeling. This can lead to the discovery of crucial insights and the preemptive fixing of possible problems. For INFJs, self-awareness is also essential. INFJs can learn to recognize trends and triggers that may affect their relationships by routinely reflecting on their own emotional state, needs, and wants. This introspection equips them to openly discuss their feelings with their partners and make the necessary modifications to the dynamic of their relationships. Since INFJs have a tendency to put a lot of energy into their relationships, it's important for them to make sure they're not ignoring other aspects of their lives in the process. Ties are important, but so is maintaining a sense of self through pursuits other than interpersonal ties. By pursuing their passions, they can bond with their significant others via the experiences they have in common. INFJs should be aware of their propensity to be too accommodating. While it's important to be understanding, those who go out of their way to accommodate others may end up resenting their significant others or feeling dissatisfied. Prioritizing honest communication and joint effort to establish a happy medium can help partners reach more satisfying compromises. INFJs can benefit from engaging in activities that foster mindfulness and emotional balance during times of stress or dispute. INFJs can better handle relationship difficulties by tending to their emotional health through practices like meditation, yoga, writing, and time spent in nature. As INFJs keep working on their relationships, they should remember the value of sharing in one another's joys and helping each other through their struggles. Positive feelings and mutual appreciation may flourish when one spouse really celebrates the successes of the other. In a similar vein, showing emotional support during trying times builds trust and unity. While INFJs' sensitivity to their partner's needs is a plus, it is essential that they learn to articulate and express their own. When in a relationship, INFJs should make their needs and wants clear and not assume that their partners would automatically understand them. When partners are honest about what they want from a relationship, they may work together to build something truly special. In their pursuit of meaningful relationships, INFJs risk losing sight of who they are as individuals. Keeping their independence and pursuing their own passions helps people feel whole and satisfied in life. Successful relationships thrive when both partners have room to develop as individuals while still contributing to the partnership as a whole. Disagreements are normal in partnerships and should be expected. INFJs need to fight the temptation to withdraw or avoid conflict during these times. Instead, they should view disagreements as learning experiences. INFJs can enhance their emotional link by having frank conversations, listening attentively, and taking into account each other's points of view. Seeking professional help from a counselor or a therapist when disagreements continue or problems get too much is highly recommended. Couples who seek professional treatment get a chance to talk about their issues in a non-threatening environment. Due to their high levels of empathy, INFJ partners may discover that they take on all of their partner's problems and stresses. Emotional weariness is avoidable if INFJs take care of themselves and establish healthy boundaries. Emotional stability may be achieved via doing things that restore one's spirit, such as spending time alone or indulging in creative projects. INFJs should also watch how they respond to their partner's criticism or tough input. Because of how hard they are on themselves, they may view criticism as a personal attack. INFJs can protect themselves from unnecessary emotional discomfort and strengthen their relationships with others by considering feedback as a chance to learn and improve. Chapter 6. Dealing with Challenges as an INFJ. INFJs, with their distinct viewpoints and profound emotions, face a variety of obstacles due to the fact that they think and process information differently than the majority of the population. Being misunderstood or undervalued is one of their biggest challenges. INFJs, being one of the more uncommon personality types, may struggle with feelings of alienation or an unquenchable thirst for meaningful relationships because they fear they don't belong anywhere. INFJs have high standards for themselves and are motivated by a genuine need to do good in the world. However, individuals may have difficulty locating communities that truly embrace and cherish their compassion and empathy in a culture that frequently prioritizes competitiveness and individualism. In a society that places a premium on efficiency and material success, their emphasis on empathy and interpersonal connection may be seen as naive or unrealistic. When an INFJ's ideas are founded on nuanced intuitions and in-depth emotional analysis, it can be extremely difficult for them to express themselves properly to others. They may experience irritation or even self-doubt as a result of their inability to express their emotions and thoughts without being seen as too sensitive or unpractical. Another challenge for INFJs is their hypersensitivity to noise and other distractions. They are vulnerable to the onslaught of feelings, energy, and information present in their environment. They may experience emotional and physical fatigue in crowded areas, stressful social situations, or environments with a lot of negativity. As a result, they may try to recover by isolating themselves, which may come out as cold-hearted or uncaring. Another common trait among INFJs is a tendency to be quite hard on themselves. Their constant introspection and quest of excellence in their personal and professional lives might cause them to experience periods of uncertainty and worry. They may be hesitant to fully embrace their potential and pursue their passions out of fear of making errors or failing to live up to their own high expectations. The rigors of daily life might be difficult for an INFJ because of their emphasis on the long term and their desire for harmony. They may have difficulty juggling their dedication to others and their desire to make a positive effect in the world with their own needs and aspirations. They may feel split between their ideals and the practical world around them as a result of this internal struggle. Despite all of this, INFJs are incredibly resilient and have strong convictions in their lives. They flourish and have a significant impact on others when they discover communities that value and appreciate their own ideas. It is crucial for INFJs to appreciate their unique qualities and accept themselves completely, seeking out communities that value and respect them. INFJs, always on the lookout for acceptance and approval, tend to surround themselves with a limited group of friends who truly get them and who value and respect them for who they are. The emotional support provided by these deep bonds is invaluable while facing the challenges of an often bewildering environment. INFJs may be reserved by nature, but when they find a cause that speaks to their beliefs and ideals, they may become powerful advocates and agents of change. They have the capacity for profound empathy, which enables them to comprehend the plight of underprivileged groups and provide sympathetic responses. INFJs have the potential to make a difference in the world by injecting it with their vision and compassion. INFJs are able to perceive potential and opportunities where others may not because of their innate intuitive and perceptive qualities. Their fresh viewpoint gives them an advantage in coming up with original ideas and original approaches to solving difficult situations. When people are allowed to think and speak freely, they often make significant contributions to the disciplines of art, literature, psychology, and the social sciences. Many INFJs, as they mature, come to accept and even cherish their distinctive personality qualities, coming to see them not as flaws, but as assets. They learn to maintain their emotional well-being by establishing appropriate limits on their interactions with others, while still actively participating in society at large. INFJs have deep inner lives that they may tap into during moments of reflection and seclusion to refuel and gain perspective. People who meditate, keep a diary, or engage in other forms of introspective self-expression often discover profound truths about themselves that help them navigate the challenges of everyday life. They have such a profound understanding of themselves, which aids them in making choices that are in line with their ideals and goals. For INFJs, the challenges they experience in a world that doesn't always get them are opportunities for learning and development. These tests force children to learn more about themselves, to accept their weaknesses, and to develop a sense of purpose that will help them face the uncertainties of the future. By being true to themselves and working to make a difference in their own manner, INFJs serve as a powerful example of how different points of view add beauty to the human experience. The world may learn to respect and celebrate the unique features of INFJs and other unusual personality types as we develop into a more accepting and empathetic society. Empathy, compassion, and profound insights may help us build a more peaceful, interdependent society where everyone can thrive and use their talents for the common good. INFJs have the potential to be in the front of good change and development in a world that values diversity and uniqueness. As they figure out how to deal with adversity, they encourage people to be themselves and speak their minds without worrying about what others would think. INFJs may make a significant contribution to society by encouraging others to be more empathetic and accepting of others' perspectives. Because of their extraordinary capacity for empathy, they are able to bring people together regardless of their cultural or religious differences. INFJs may foster trusting relationships based on mutual respect and open communication by actively listening to others and making an effort to comprehend their perspectives. The innovative ideas that emerge from INFJs' more expansive way of thinking may have a positive impact on everyone. INFJs are able to see systemic problems and provide solutions that get to the bottom of things because they rely on their intuition and can see the big picture. Because of their holistic perspective and foresight, they are able to make well-informed judgments that put sustainability, ethics, and social impact first. INFJs have the potential to excel as leaders and mentors in fields that make use of their distinctive talents. Their selfless leadership approach creates a safe and encouraging workplace for all of their employees. INFJs are masters at helping others develop as people and as professionals, enabling them to realize their full potential and make lasting contributions to their communities. INFJs are known for questioning accepted wisdom and standing up for what they believe in. Their unconventional lifestyle inspires others to examine and even alter their own core values and principles. The cultural perspective on diversity, emotional intelligence, and the significance of connection may all benefit from this domino effect. INFJs have an unmistakable influence on the lives of the people around them, even if the world doesn't always get them or their ideas. INFJs may leave a good mark on the world by leaving a legacy of love, compassion, and understanding. They show that people can make a difference in the world even if their viewpoints are unusual or unconventional, as long as they stay loyal to themselves and value their particular talents. How INFJs can make the most of their skills in the job and what kinds of careers might suit them. INFJs are drawn to careers where they may have a meaningful effect on the lives of others and on society as a whole. They are attracted to helping professions where they can provide a sympathetic ear to people in need, such as counseling, psychology, social work, education, and healthcare. INFJs thrive in situations where they can assist others in overcoming emotional obstacles and solving difficulties. There are aspects in the workplace that might either help or impede an INFJ's productivity. INFJs are natural empaths. Therefore, if they don't take care to establish healthy boundaries, they risk being emotionally drained or burned out. As a result, it is crucial to provide INFJs with a work setting that allows them to refuel and maintain their energy levels. Because of their introverted nature, INFJs may need time alone to refocus and gather their thoughts. Recognizing this requirement and giving them access to solo projects or quiet areas may do wonders for their inspiration and output. The INFJ's strength is in seeing the broad picture and making connections between apparently unconnected things. They are brilliant strategists and planners due to their extraordinary intuitive abilities, which enable them to discern hidden patterns and foresee potential events. INFJs may be effective leaders by drawing on their innate sixth sense intuition to inspire their employees to work together towards a common goal. The empathetic and caring natures of INFJs are also well known. Because of this trait, they are able to communicate and listen well, making them invaluable team members who can resolve disagreements, encourage teamwork, and boost morale. The INFJ's strength in building relationships at work may be used via an environment that promotes open dialogue and welcomes a variety of viewpoints. When INFJs know how to put their talents to use, they can have successful occupations that support their personal goals. They should utilize their intuition and empathy to make wise choices and look for chances to do something that matters to them. Self-care, limits, and respect for one's own needs are all ways in which an INFJ may maintain their vitality and keep making a difference in their field. The efficacy of an INFJ can be increased even further via the pursuit of self-improvement. INFJs may improve their abilities and keep up with developments in their profession by engaging in ongoing learning, be it through traditional schooling, workshops, or self-study. INFJs have the ability to grow and develop through being receptive to new information and views. Due to their high principles and aspirations, INFJs may find themselves in difficult situations at work on occasion. While it's crucial for INFJs to be unwavering in their convictions, they'll do well to develop their diplomatic skills and look for areas of agreement with coworkers who may have different viewpoints. INFJs have the potential to establish a peaceful workplace where all employees' opinions are valued through encouraging communication and teamwork. Building professional contacts and expanding one's network may be beneficial for INFJs since it provides opportunities to work with others who share similar values and perspectives. People at all stages of their careers might benefit from seeking out mentors from the industry. Self-aware INFJs know the value of self-care and self-compassion. Because of their empathy, INFJs may put other people's needs before their own. It is essential that they make time for leisure pursuits, recreation, and other pursuits that promote health and well-being. INFJs who are able to strike a good work-life balance are less likely to experience burnout and more likely to stay the course in their chosen field. INFJs might look for ways to use their imagination at work. Incorporating creativity into their profession may enliven and encourage INFJs to perform at a higher level. Whether that creativity takes the form of developing novel solutions to issues, utilizing artistic expression to communicate ideas, or participating in initiatives that allow for creative problem-solving. Because INFJs are naturally empathetic, it's important that they take time to recognize and appreciate their own accomplishments every once in a while. If you want them to keep making a difference in their profession, it helps to let them know how much you appreciate their efforts and the difference they've made. INFJs that do well in their jobs may eventually find themselves in positions of authority. Despite having a different leadership style than the more common forceful types, INFJs may be effective leaders thanks to their ability to combine vision with emotional intelligence and insight. By establishing strong bonds with their colleagues, they're able to inspire and drive them, ultimately leading to increased teamwork and loyalty. INFJs may improve their leadership potential by honing their communication skills, which include speaking articulately and listening attentively. INFJs may benefit from the group's expertise and foster an environment where everyone feels comfortable speaking out by fostering open communication and providing a welcoming atmosphere for members to do so. When it comes to settling team problems, INFJs' innate tendency to empathize with others may be a huge benefit. INFJs may arbitrate issues and encourage beneficial solutions by using a compassionate and understanding attitude. Managing their time and energy well might be difficult for an INFJ in a leadership role. INFJs can avoid burnout and devote more time to planning and visioning if they learn to trust others to take on some of their obligations. Putting together a strong team helps INFJs succeed and also encourages personal development for everyone involved. Being more cautious and modest about their achievements might be a challenge for INFJs when it comes to promoting themselves professionally. In order to advance in their careers and lives, it is essential that they take stock of their accomplishments and confidently share that information with others. Even though INFJs are inclined to help others, they should think about what they want out of life. Taking the initiative to pursue learning opportunities like mentoring relationships, extra training, and higher education may pave the path for promotion and open the door to more stimulating and rewarding work. Chapter 7. Dealing with Stress as an INFJ. Although INFJs are well known for their compassion and understanding, they have special obstacles in areas such as stress management, boundary establishing, and making ethical judgments. They can use their innate abilities and a variety of tactics to help them deal with these situations. INFJs need to learn effective stress management techniques since they are highly susceptible to emotional weariness as a result of taking on other people's feelings. When under pressure, INFJs who value self-care and isolation are better able to handle it. They can regain equilibrium by partaking in activities like journaling, meditation, or spending time in nature that allow them to relax and get in touch with their inner selves. INFJs must learn to create boundaries since their desire to be helpful and sympathetic can make it difficult for them to say no to other people's requests. They need to learn that setting boundaries and saying no when necessary is not selfish, but rather necessary for maintaining their health and vitality. INFJs can avoid becoming overwhelmed by other people's wants and expectations by being clear about what they can and cannot give. Another difficulty INFJs may encounter is making choices that are consistent with their ideals. Indecisiveness might arise from their drive for honesty and their strong personal ideals. To get over this, INFJs need to do some soul-searching and reconnect with their core values. They may better decide what is good and meaningful for them if they consider how each option relates to their larger aims and beliefs. When making important choices, INFJs should also consult with reliable friends and advisors. They can develop clarity and confidence in their decisions by talking to others about how they feel and the options available to them. INFJs need to avoid the paralysis of analysis that can result from too much thought. They need to understand that they can't wait for everything to be perfect before acting, and that moving forward is necessary even if questions still remain. INFJs can get the confidence to take action by learning to trust their intuition and realizing that making errors is a necessary part of growing as a person. For the sake of their own mental and emotional health, INFJs would do well to cultivate a network of friends and acquaintances who share their core beliefs and passions. Connecting with others who value and accept them for who they are can help people feel accepted and at home in the world. Self-care, establishing boundaries, seeking assistance from others, and following one's intuition are all ways in which an INFJ may handle stress, set limits, and make decisions that are in line with their beliefs. INFJs may stay loyal to their compassionate and empathic natures while still living more balanced, meaningful, and authentic lives if they adopt these habits. INFJs should develop a sense of self-compassion as part of their efforts to deal with stress and keep their lives in equilibrium. When an INFJ fails to live up to their own high standards, they can be quite hard on themselves. One way to practice self-compassion is to be as patient and understanding with oneself as one would be with a dear friend. INFJs can build resilience and more easily recover from adversity by accepting their human flaws and accepting that everyone makes errors. Some people who have become used to an INFJ's empathetic assistance may push back when they try to establish limits. It is important for INFJs to maintain their boundaries while still showing compassion and understanding for the other person's feelings in these scenarios. It might be good to explain why they are putting restrictions and reassure people that this has nothing to do with how much they care about them. In this way, INFJs may strengthen their relationships with others and be more themselves with them. In order to make choices that are consistent with their beliefs, they may need to try new things or go in a different direction than they're used to. Staying loyal to one's own convictions is crucial for the growth and fulfillment of an INFJ, despite the fact that they may experience external pressures to adhere to cultural norms or the expectations of others. Opportunities for personal and professional growth that are in line with INFJ's real passions and beliefs can be found when they embrace their unique vision and embrace the risks connected with their decisions. Active listening to one's own instincts and emotions is another way in which INFJs might improve their ability to make decisions. They can gain significant insights into what actually resonates with their genuine self by keeping a journal or engaging in creative activities that encourage introspection. In addition, maintaining an open mind to new information and ideas can lead to a deeper comprehension of the world and better choice-making. As INFJs adopt these methods, they should remember that developing oneself is a lifelong endeavor. Setbacks and difficulties they meet along the road might help them develop and hone skills in areas such as stress management, boundary establishment, and decision-making. INFJs have the potential to develop into self-assured, resilient people whose lives are in harmony with their most important values and goals if they are willing to put in the time, effort, and self-compassion necessary to do so. INFJs should be aware of keeping a good equilibrium between their inner world and the exterior demands of life as they continue on their journey of growth and self-discovery. Sensitivity to others' feelings and an intense capacity for introspection can lead to feelings of being overwhelmed. Therefore, it's important for them to learn to recognize the signs that they need to emotionally recharge by taking a break. Reconnecting with their sense of purpose and inner harmony may be aided by partaking in activities that offer them joy and fulfillment, such as engaging in artistic pursuits, spending time with loved ones, or volunteering for causes they are passionate about. INFJs should learn to be forceful when stating their wants and setting limits. They may be great at seeing things from other people's perspectives, but they need to be just as good at seeing things from their own. INFJs may help others and improve their own relationships by being open and honest about what they want from others. INFJs may face external criticism or skepticism when they act in accordance with their ideals. It's crucial that they hold firm to their beliefs and resist being affected by outside influences. They can get the inspiration and affirmation they need to stick to their goals by surrounding themselves with positive and like-minded people. INFJs might benefit from an introspective approach to decision-making when they are presented with challenging options. They can carve out time for introspection and inner exploration, connecting with their feelings and their gut instincts. They may acquire insight and make decisions that are in line with their higher purpose by asking oneself questions such, what resonates most deeply with my values and beliefs? Or what impact do I hope to have on the world through this decision? Seeking feedback and different points of view may be helpful for INFJs as well, provided they don't let it overpower their own inner direction. When people take the time to weigh the pros and disadvantages of different options, they gain a more complete picture of what may happen as a result of their choices. Chapter 8. Self-Improvement for INFJs. For INFJs, the road to self-actualization is a winding and profoundly changing one. INFJs, with their singular combination of traits, have extraordinary capacity for introspection, sympathy, and intuition. These traits will serve as the cornerstones of a successful and meaningful existence for them. The INFJ's capacity to delve into and comprehend their own minds is crucial to their development as a whole person. They have a strong capacity for introspection, which drives them to investigate the roots of their feelings, ideas, and convictions in the pursuit of truth. They are able to honestly assess their own merits and shortcomings because they are not afraid to go within and face the truth about themselves. Because of their innate sympathy, INFJs are able to form deep bonds with others around them. This presents individuals with the opportunity to learn from others' viewpoints and experiences, broadening their awareness of the human condition. INFJs learn a great deal about themselves and the world around them as they develop their innate capacity for empathy and compassion. Finding a balance between their introverted nature and their need for interpersonal connection is a major obstacle for INFJs on their path to personal development. Learning to establish appropriate limits and achieve a state of equilibrium between introspection and interaction with the outside world might help you strike this balance. They learn the value of self-care and how it improves their capacity to make a difference in the world. When INFJs learn to trust their intuition and use it to guide their decision-making, they may go through life with confidence and clarity. Intuition serves as a potent compass, leading individuals in the direction of their dreams. In addition to their natural intuitive abilities, INFJs benefit much by remaining flexible and adaptable in their approach to life. INFJs have a tendency to criticize themselves and be afraid of failing since their high sense of idealism compels them to strive for perfection. Along the way, they discover that flaws are to be celebrated and that setbacks are valuable learning experiences. They can now face challenges with fortitude and optimism thanks to their improved capacity for self-compassion. As INFJs mature and gain perspective, they often feel compelled to use that knowledge for the greater good of society. Having a goal to work towards encourages them to develop their skills and abilities to their full potential. It inspires them to work towards worthwhile goals and engage in causes that reflect their core beliefs. INFJs may become shining examples of integrity, kindness, and sagacity via the process of self-development. The path they take isn't a straight line, but rather an ongoing investigation of who they are and how they fit into the world. They discover happiness in learning and growing into people who can make significant contributions to the happiness of others and the evolution of awareness as a whole. In the end, INFJs leave a good mark on the world because, as they cultivate their inner growth, they exude a transforming energy that inspires and uplifts all they come into contact with. As INFJs develop as individuals, they come to see the value of finding meaningful ways to express themselves creatively. They learn that their creative abilities and vivid imagination may serve as potent means of expression and introspection. INFJs find a way to connect with themselves and others by expressing their inner ideas and feelings via writing, painting, music, or other kinds of creative expression. As INFJs face the problems of life, they may experience periods of self-doubt or find it difficult to make decisions. However, their innate toughness and resolve help them push through difficult situations and gain insight. They train themselves to follow their gut and be open to new experiences, knowing that it is only through challenging themselves that they will develop as people. For INFJs, the path to self-improvement is collaborative rather than solitary. They develop close friendships with others who share their interests and values and who are able to see and respect their individuality. Inspiring one another and creating a feeling of community, these bonds are invaluable. As they work on themselves, INFJs discover the value of self and other forgiveness. By forgiving others and themselves, those who are working on cultivating compassion are able to make room in their lives for future happiness and health. INFJs are people who, throughout their life, find meaning in learning more about the world and themselves. They flourish in settings that foster a love of learning and exploration because of their insatiable curiosity. This need for knowledge aids in their development and equips them to affect change in the world. As INFJs become older, they learn that maturing is a never-ending process, one that changes with each new stage of life. Their development is not constrained by conventional measures of achievement, but rather stems from their inherent introspection, sympathy, and genuineness. Because of their willingness to adapt to whatever comes their way, INFJs are able to grow as people and serve as role models for others around them. There is no limit to an INFJ's capacity for self-development and expansion. They are able to set out on a meaningful and transforming journey because of their ability to reflect, empathize, use intuition, and think creatively. INFJs provide a lasting effect on the world and the lives of people they encounter by being genuine, by building meaningful connections, and by remaining open to new experiences. Their development through time is a stunning illustration of the transformative potential of introspection and the ecstasy of following one's true calling. As INFJs develop, they become more interested in making a difference in the world and helping others. Because of their strong capacity for compassion and comprehension of human nature, they fight for social justice and try to make the world a better place for all people. They use their varied experiences to unite people from disparate backgrounds and promote peace and understanding. INFJs develop the skills to handle life's difficulties with poise and insight. They learn to face difficult circumstances and confrontations with diplomacy and empathy. Because of their open-mindedness, they can resolve conflicts and develop equitable solutions that satisfy everyone involved. An INFJ's sense of acceptance and respect for the variety of human experiences grows as they do. They accept that their path is different from everyone else's, and they don't let it make them feel inferior. Instead, they concentrate on their own development, accepting the fact that their route may diverge from conventional wisdom. As they work on themselves, INFJs frequently turn to introspective activities like meditation, mindfulness, and writing. These rituals help people feel more in one with their true selves and promote calmness and serenity within. They are able to refuel in moments of calm, allowing them to face the challenges of life with focus and determination. INFJs have a strong desire to help others around them. Therefore, it's no surprise that these types of roles appeal to them. Seeing the success of those around them brings them great satisfaction, as does knowing that their efforts have helped others. Their personal development and motivation to keep making a positive difference in the world are fueled by this sense of purpose and fulfillment. INFJs mature into people who accept the ebb and flow of life, who recognize that development is not always linear, and who use adversity as a springboard for future success. They learn to adapt more easily to shifting circumstances, tapping on their own inner resources for direction as they face novel problems. Integrating their intellectual and emotional sides is a major step in the development of an INFJ's character. They develop the ability to integrate logical reasoning with in-depth empathy, resulting in sound judgments informed by both facts and compassion. The road of self-discovery, empathy, and honesty that INFJs have the opportunity to go upon is a never-ending one. By celebrating their individuality and developing a keen understanding of themselves, these people transform into sources of inspiration via their compassion and wisdom. They are powerful catalysts for social change and advocates for a more equitable and accepting world because of their capacity to forge deep connections with people and their commitment to improving the world. INFJs make an indelible impression on the world as they develop and change, encouraging and motivating people around them to pursue their own journeys of self-discovery. How you can better utilize your abilities and address your limitations. The INFJ personality type has a predisposition towards perfectionism and self-criticism, both of which may be improved with practice. To remedy this, individuals must develop empathy for themselves and accept that failure is an opportunity to grow. Understanding and accepting one's own frailties is essential to personal development and building strong relationships. INFJs may have trouble establishing boundaries since they tend to put the needs of others before their own. INFJs may avoid burnout and keep their relationships and obligations in better balance by learning to say no when they need to. Individuals that identify as INFJ tend to be deeply compassionate and driven. Connecting with one's interests, values, and principles is essential to realizing one's true identity. They can accomplish this by expressing themselves in creative ways, including via writing, painting, or music. They might feel more at home and contented by actively searching out communities and settings that share their ideals. In order to fully accept who they are, INFJs should relish in what makes them special and refrain from making comparisons to others. INFJs should not discount the value of their introverted and sensitive nature because of society's emphasis on extroversion and assertiveness. They may completely accept their strengths and be happy with who they are if they are allowed to be themselves. When INFJs grasp how their empathy and intuition may improve group dynamics, they can fully realize their leadership potential. They have the power to foster collaborative environments where ideas from all participants are considered and respected. While INFJs are learning about themselves and developing as individuals, they might also consider how they could affect the world at large. Because of their intrinsic capacity to comprehend nuanced human feelings and motives, they excel in positions such as counseling, coaching, and advocacy, where they can aid others in overcoming obstacles and realizing their full potential. INFJs can do a better job of sharing their ideas and perspectives with the world if they work on their communication abilities. They may reach out to a wide range of individuals and help them relate to one another, regardless of their own experiences or opinions. INFJs have the potential to use their creativity to influence others through a variety of mediums, including writing, public speaking, and the visual arts. As INFJs try to improve their flaws, they should also look for ways to broaden and deepen their horizons. They can develop a growth mindset by constant learning and by asking for and acting on feedback from reliable adults. INFJs are able to improve both their strengths and flaws because of their openness to change. It's important for INFJs to be honest and transparent in their interactions. They should be around positive people who accept them for who they are and encourage them to be authentic. If they listen to their gut feelings when picking friends and companions, the results will be more satisfying and healthy relationships all around. When INFJs, or anybody else, want harmony yet encounters disagreements or trying circumstances, they may run into difficulties. INFJs need to remember in these situations that being true to themselves does not necessitate avoiding conflict at all costs. Instead, they might use their sensitivity to the feelings of others while remaining steadfast to their core ideals and principles. INFJs should make a point of scheduling regular time for introspection and self-care. They may keep their emotional health in check and avoid burnout by partaking in hobbies like reading, meditation, and time spent in nature. They give themselves the best chance of success in their quest for personal development and social change by making self-care a top priority. INFJs may experience periods of self-doubt or external influences that test their sense of identity as they continue on their journey of embracing their real selves and making a positive difference. In these moments, it is especially important for INFJs to show one's self-compassion and to remember all the ways in which they're special. To remind themselves of their value and significance, they might reflect on their prior successes and meaningful interactions with others. They would benefit enormously from searching out new experiences and viewpoints. A person's worldview and capacity for empathy can be enriched via interaction with others from a variety of cultural, racial, religious, and socioeconomic backgrounds. They may get insight from other perspectives and modify their own as needed. When it comes to their employment, INFJs should prioritize doing something that speaks to their beliefs and interests. Finding a job or field where one can put one's talents to use and make a positive impact on the world is one key to job satisfaction. Counseling, teaching, social work, psychology, writing, and business are all fields where an INFJ could find success and contribute to the world in ways that resonate with their values. Even while they work to improve the lives of those around them, INFJs have a responsibility to take care of themselves. Emotional weariness may be avoided by regularly engaging in self-assessment to evaluate emotional health and by establishing boundaries in personal and professional interactions. They are able to refuel and keep their lives in harmony by welcoming periods of quiet reflection. INFJs should be kind with themselves as they work towards their goals because development isn't always a straight line. There may be obstacles and problems to overcome, but know that even those present growth chances. INFJs may make the most of their strengths of change and flexibility by seeing life as an ongoing quest for personal growth.